Hello, hello. Hey, Matt. Happy first. It's Friday. I just wrote this today command. I just, I think there's a lot that's been going on lately. I've been just kind of scrambling to make challenge mode work. And I think we finally have enough evidence that it's going in the right direction. It's not there yet. It probably involves at least another couple weeks of work. And the amount of like the kinds of things we have to do, there's content balancing, then polish and fixes, and then reach a broader audience. And as I mentioned, this is probably minimally 2 weeks of stuff to do. I don't want to just keep like advancing, or rather, I guess I do, but I don't think I can. I think my ability to keep up with this has been shaky. So anyway, today is going to be about just getting something done. Maybe I don't even stream in the afternoon. I'm not totally sure, but I need to just take it a little bit easier than I have been. So I think one of the things we should start with is this list is getting out of control, and I need to do something about that. I didn't even shock myself to get to the first. You used your own muscles. Hey, Dev. Also got that new Switch 2, Time to Chill. Yeah, it's not even like sometimes I feel like I want a vacation, and sometimes I feel like I need a vacation. This is one of those like feeling like I need some time off, and not necessarily that there's something I really want to do. Like the Switch 2 has been fun, but I'm not like, oh man, I really want to carve out 3 days and just play the whole time. Like, yeah. Also, things aren't like super bad or anything here. I've just been doing a lot. So yeah, let's start by cleaning up the list. That's an easy task. All right, so yeah, this is the general plan still. I'd like to write this somewhere because this is what we got to keep in mind for challenge mode. Challenge mode, not touching the rest of this list until it's done. So content, balancing, bug fixes, and polish, and then a broader release to test this out. Yep, this stuff is never supposed to get copied. I'm pushing incredibly hard. Yeah, and the progress has been good. I will admit that. I just think that I can't keep it up. And there's some amount of sustainability. Like there's an equilibrium that will allow me to make progress and still kind of keep my head in the game. I think what's difficult is making systems is probably the most fun aspect of game dev. So like you make the systems, you give it barely any data, and then you test it out. And from there you can kind of tell if something is fun or not. But that's not when you're done. Then you have a bunch of content and then balancing and then yeah, all the stuff that I pretty much said, bug fixes, polish. These things, I think it's hard to rate them from like what's the most interesting and what's the least interesting. But you spend a lot of time in these phases, and for any of them to be less interesting than just making the systems already kind of slows down progress for that. Hey Hyper, don't push yourself too hard. Yeah, I'm trying not to. So today's gonna be an easier day for sure. Sprints aren't marathons, gotta build in that rest. Yeah. Okay, so I've got some observations from when I was playing. I think I should probably go make some new issues and tag them with challenge mode. We have milestones. I could make a milestone for challenge mode. It's not really a time. But yeah, let's do that maybe. That way I can get some of these things off the list. Challenge mode. These are tasks that have to do with challenge mode. Ideally, we get these done as soon as possible. Choose date. I'll pick September 15th just to give a date here. But yeah, now let's go file these sorts of things. All right, it's a new issue. Layout. Well, I guess this is fallout from this. Layout regular mode perks in a better way. Let's go launch the game. Can you show how's the game? Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, whoop, I launched the wrong thing. Hang on a second. I thought I was launching the game. There. Okay. So yeah, this is Skeleseller. I've been working on it with a small team of people for about a year and a half now. And let me go into regular mode here. The very brief intro of the game is it's a casual, idle-ish game. It's not totally idle. You're not just sitting here for like 10 hours. Total gameplay of the main mode may last for about 5 hours. You send adventurers that you hire into battle. They fight for you automatically. So I don't need to control this fight anymore now. And then they earn items from those battles. So I'll just kind of cheat in some items here. The items just pop into town, and then your workers will go pick them up and bring them to the shops. But you could also bring them there if you want to. And then customers will buy them, and you can use the proceeds to upgrade your town, hire new adventurers, and you know, normal RPG stuff. You level up, you find better loot, you go to better locations, etc. The problem that we have that I was just going to discuss is this. So I want to take a picture of this thing. Before the UI update, we used to show perks in a 3x3 block. This was great. This looked great and didn't feel as overwhelming as a 9x1 line. I think one thing we should do is increase the perk size, at least for regular mode. That on its own would already force the perks into new rows. All right, so milestone for this is going to be challenge mode. Let's just file that. There should be a trade-off that makes the defensive adventurers better somehow. I wonder how we would do this. So how do we steer the player toward the paladin or the golem? I guess we could make enemies stronger and assume that those characters will survive the best. But I don't think players are going to realize that. And I think this is just sort of an idle observation. So I don't think we need to do anything about it necessarily. Like there will be times when you probably use these adventurers. Hey, Kevin. Why would people want to pick anything other than a DPS at first? Yeah, so I will put this into the idle observations thing. All right, yeah. Not sure. I don't think there's enough incentive to pick non-DPS adventurers, especially at first. Something should, like, yeah, maybe there should be a perk. I don't know how we should do this, actually. I feel like there should be some choice that lets the tanky characters perform better. Plus X% enemy strength is kind of that. Yeah. Hey, Turbo Dave. All DPS all the time. There are a bunch of different little, like, high-level ways we could address this. One is to try to just make every adventurer the same general power level. So it's like the rogue will do more damage, but they'll also just die a lot faster. And we kind of plan on that character dying a lot. So now we make the tanky characters. So that's one way we kind of just make it so you need tanks. And another way is we just make the tanks better. What if your party got a DPS bonus for having a tank? Same with healers, party balance or something. Yeah. Yeah, I want to think of like I said, there are a lot of high level things we could do. We could even like make new battles. I thought about this a while ago. What if there was just a battle about surviving for as long as possible? I don't think it's fun, but it would definitely make you want the tanky characters. Yeah. Matt suggested there could be party buffs just by having the tank in the battle. Paladin could heal everyone every so often. Alternatively, could just, well, yeah, alternatively, we just make enemies do a lot more damage. And then make the tanks even beefier. Could also just make the tanks even beefier. And make enemies do a lot more damage. I still need to figure out the balance of that. Okay, so I have this written down already, but as a perk choice, this is one of the problems that I've had in general. We now have 3 sets of choices. We have your specializations, which is before the run even starts. We have perks, which happen like very frequently throughout a run, maybe like 50 to 60 times. And then we have the trade-offs, which happen like maybe 3 times in total in a run. So whenever you come up with a new idea like this one, where we say like, it's a positive effect, we say +1 choice every time you get a choice for anything. So you can now choose between 4 perks at once. Where does this go? Is it a specialization? Is it a perk? Is it a trade-off? And I think it can go in any of them. Is the idea that you want to force any particular situation? No, it's just that I don't want players to feel like, oh, I got the paladin first, I should restart my run. I feel like there should still be some value. And if there's not going to be value, then why don't we just start you with a DPS character? Hi, Lupus. You need some choices after the run is over? Like continue the run or go to title screen? Make your warrior 10 times more powerful, even though you just lost? The other question I have now is, will the UI even support this? I don't think it will. Like when you get a town perk, we can fit 3 things horizontally. If we were to try to put 4 things in, we need to condense these somehow. So I don't know if we should ever go beyond having 3 perks. Maybe we could say instead, we could have something like you get 1 reroll every time you buy a perk. That's sort of like having more than 3 choices, but it's actually better than having 3 choices. What do you think about 3D pixelated art style? You mean like the Octopath games? Because I think just in general, I don't have a problem with any art style. It just needs to make sense for that game. True Paladin would be awful. I mean, if you get upgrades for them, they're not too bad. Do something like what I prepared for the challenge selection. You get a list of things on the left, just titles, and detail for each on the right. Oh, that's true, actually. I hadn't thought of that. Although I think seeing them laid out like this is probably helpful, but maybe it isn't. Yeah, maybe there's just a name. Okay, well then I guess I shouldn't think about that too much. But I will write that down then, that there's this meta thing that we need to consider. Where are the meta choices? Here they are. You get 1 more perk option each time. For town perks, where we already show 3 in a row, we would probably need to change the UI so that you can just see names and maybe descriptions, but not the power changes until you click something. Yeah. Or maybe we just show... Anyway, we'd have to figure that out. Yeah, I guess I will write this down. Or maybe we just show what the next level will do. Or maybe even just the delta. Okay, so any of those things could work. All right, perk idea. Items in the warehouse auto sell themselves for half value every 15 seconds or after 15 seconds. This is kind of like the customers can buy from the warehouse, but would be way less crazy, I think. Maybe a better formulation of this is items auto sell themselves for X% value if in the warehouse for at least Y seconds. I don't know how that would make sense exactly. And this is kind of similar to the garbage slime perk that we just added yesterday, where they can eat items from the warehouse. But my thinking was you might want this if you're like, oh, I don't have any of the storage options. As in my shops are very small. So yeah, I like this idea. I wonder if there's something else we would need to do. Anyway, let's just leave that written down. All right, it could be a negative trade-off that removes the quick move menu. Yeah, I kind of like that idea too. We should probably put all these in. Yeah. Yeah, these are ideas for perks. I guess we need ideas for like negative perks. These are ideas for the trade-offs, choices that don't have to be, I guess, since they don't have to be positive. Remove the quick move menu. This would be desirable if you had tons of workers. Well, this could be desirable if you had tons of workers. All right, +1 adventure trade-off is really powerful. Probably shouldn't be presented first, or should be presented with a negative of commensurate value. Yeah, right now, one of the very first choices you can make could be give you an extra adventurer in battle. And it allows you to get farther than you normally would much sooner. So the general idea here we could do is we could say, okay, this is really powerful. So option 1 is make the negative really powerful. Option 2 is make it rare. And option 3 would be only present it later in the game. I don't know if there's anything else we can do here because you can't say like give half an adventure. You can't tone this down. It's either 0 or it's 1. And 1 on its own is already pretty powerful. And you can't mitigate this by putting like a chance that you'll have another adventure or something. I mean, maybe what you could do is you could offset it with, yeah, I guess you could do that. So you, option 4 is offset the power bonus with its own inherent negative. The 5th adventurer has 50% life and power. But I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else that we want to do here. And I don't know which one of these is best. I like the idea of getting something early on in a run that then changes your decision making. I guess I'll just write this down at the bottom of the scratch section. What is at the bottom of this? Improving the fun. These are the conclusions. So I'll just write random thoughts. Okay. All right, so observations from playtesting. I played on enchanting very hard. There are limits to everything. You hit someone early. I don't remember when I did this exactly, but I think it was before we added trade-offs. Did I? No, rerolls and trade-offs felt great. I hadn't added all the trade-offs though. All right, more perk variety. Something else to do with armor. Slightly more depth from each system. Getting the occasional rare perk would be nice. I think maybe that's what we can work on today is like flesh out different levels of perks that we already have and then change specializations so that they don't provide the maximum of every ability. Yeah. Yeah, so like what if we allowed your workers to go up to 200% movement speed or some like crazy amount, or your farm could grow crops practically instantaneously. In fact, maybe that's something we want to get to. Maybe well water is like plus 20%, plus 40%, and then it just starts going nuts. It's like 80% and then 200%. So crops that would have taken well, anyway, I don't know, whatever. We can do something like 1,000%. So crops pretty much grow instantaneously, and you feel like, oh man, I'm just rolling in wisdom sludge over here. I just want to be careful because I don't know how much, like one perk at that point could dictate the rest of the game. So there needs to be some amount of balance here. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. But yeah, I think that's what we could do today. More perk variety, maybe like add a few perks or trade-offs if we can. The more we have, the better, IMO. Yeah, rerolls and trade-offs felt good. Run was fun. Wonder if battle perks could be cheaper and slightly less effective. I think we made the fishing pond too good. I gotta try that out at some point. All right, goal, get enough trade-offs coded that we can release to playtesters. I think the important thing with design is figuring out what we need from abilities. Oh, I did that already. Be nice to launch a playtest version. Okay, cool. So that stuff's all done. Yeah, let's do this. Fine. Enough people ask for it. Start the player with a quick move menu. Yeah. Need to add more trade-off choices. So we did those. These are the other ones we could potentially add. Grow crops faster or slower. I think just growing them slower could be interesting. Although I guess it's just hurting the farm. I wonder if there should be some like massive trade-off. Like what if there's something like 2 random adventurers you've hired get minus 50% power for the rest of the run. It actually doesn't really hurt the tanks that much. But this is too random and it's too powerful. We'd probably need to scope this down somehow. Anyway, not gonna worry about that yet. So these are done. Play test so I can figure out what other perks I want. Clean up this list. Follow up with influencers. Yeah, I still haven't done this. I need to do this tomorrow. So I asked Kevin for permission to share this, and he said he's okay with it. But Kevin's coming over tomorrow, and we're gonna work for the first time in person together. And I'm gonna be doing a bunch of clerical work, I think. So I'm gonna do the influencer stuff, the marketing outreach, the just kind of figuring out when the world's going on with challenge mode. And I don't know what Kevin's gonna be doing. Gonna lock him in a room to type on your keyboard, aren't you? Yep. I just once you figure out what you're doing, you just stick to that thing. All right, so that's gonna be tomorrow. So I actually do need a Saturday list here. And I think I have this written down somewhere, but I'll just write it here. So marketing, follow up with influencers, reach out to new ones, triage, go through this list, especially define tasks for Kevin. Just go in there to hang out with Abby. I thought that was clear. Well, Abby's going to be working on Skeleseller. And there was some other thing that I had here. Maybe playtesting. I don't know. All right, let's see. What about this stuff? Fix privacy mode. Yeah, this is like MISC. Fix privacy mode. Figure out why Twitch alerts stop playing. Figure out how to code the trade-offs. I already did that. Wait, what? I think the perk choice tracker should do that. Yeah, so refactor. Change this since we know those colors work. Write this down. Now let me escape the room. I've said this a bunch of times before, but cats have like such a fast reaction time that I wonder if you could hook them up to a video game somehow. Like, imagine them playing an FPS. They wouldn't know how to control it, but their reaction time would be really, really fast. And every once in a while, I see a video of someone playing like a touch screen game on their phone, and you just have to like tap insects or something, and like the cat naturally wants to do that, and they're really good at it. And it's It's entertaining. But yeah, I wonder if you could get a cat to type, how fast would they type? That's a cat under the helmet. Yeah. And also the dog playing on stage at GDQ. I did not. What happened? Isn't enough contrast between that and the highlighted text. There still probably isn't. Yeah, we need to increase that. I'll just take a screenshot of this. Probably want to change the highlight color, I guess. Pretty much the same picture I already had on my clipboard. All right, so improve contrast of skill tables in challenge mode. There's a white background for the skills here since they're not showing up in a tooltip. So the highlights in the table don't look great. Note that this task should only be done when we're practically finished with the challenge mode UI. We may end up hiding all of these details until you hover anyway. Also, it's not as simple as just changing this. Not as simple as changing a color somewhere. We need to conditionally change it since regular mode looks fine. Okay. I guess we'll add this to the list of things to do while you're working. Question about the highlight. Is that the current bonus I have or the one I get after? I guess the latter, but I'm never sure. Yeah, it's the one you'll get after. So we'll never show you level 0 here. So like I don't have max fish right now. So it's going to be, wait, no, hang on a second. I do have max fish, don't I? No, now I'm confused. Yeah. I don't have max fish. So it's the one you'll get after choosing it. So like if I were to get the treasure room, let's go build that. I don't have the money for that. Okay, so I have the treasure room. We have 2 stands. If I click the town perks thing, it shows that I'll get 3. Hey, virtually. It's going well. How are you doing? Welcome in. All right, where else do we have stuff here? So this I have written down. Yeah, we got to push the demo at some point, but there's one other thing. I want to do it after fixing that one issue that I just made. I'm going to stop you right there virtually and tell you about a certain chat rule that we have. So please read that chat rule and then change how you're typing messages. No, it's okay. It's okay. There's no way you could have known. But yeah, the stream of consciousness style writing is generally not something I want in this stream. Yeah, I'll check out that video later. I think that'll be a fun watch. So after doing this, I want to release the demo. Release the demo again, or like update the demo after tackling this issue. All right, what else do we have here? By the way, I'm happy to read your thought you originally had virtually just as one message, not as like 7. Push the demo after doing this. New UI, portraits. Yeah, this stuff is all there. Yep. I think that'll clarify things. I need to work on, I don't know, it not sounding like I'm like laying down the law. Most important thing about pushing this is showing some Steam activity. Yeah. We do this, we need to update the screenshots. Yep. I don't know. I'm not going to have time to do all this stuff tomorrow. That's why I'm glad I'm organizing this at least. Improve contrast of this tab. So that's already been done. These issues, I don't know if there's anything else even here. Close button is always in the same relative position. I think that was okay. This I did want to ask about. This I've improved myself. This we've improved. And this we've improved. Yeah, so all these issues are done. This is really bad. We got to do something about this. I'm going to file an issue for that. All right, improve the look of disabled, focused but disabled buttons in challenge mode. So here's a disabled button in challenge mode. It looks good. Well, I guess I should write it this way. It looks good, but here's what happens when we focus it. It turns blue. I think it's confusing that it turns blue. It should probably just highlight the borders or something. Hey, Xyletics, morning. Used to it. Also, it's my first time working with it. It being the Game Banana API, the site for mods and such things. I do this for a personal mod finder app. Oh, cool. I haven't heard of Game Banana. Let me look this up. API wrapper for Game Banana. Huh. Never heard of Game Banana. Game modding community. Yeah. I think modding a game is interesting in that it's accessible. You don't have to code a whole game engine. You don't need to design a whole game. You have a built-in player base. But at the same time, it's like the base game might get updated and then break your mod. And there's no guarantee that the creator of the game is going to work with you or anything, or that your mod's going to ever continue to work. So it all depends on kind of what you want out of making something. If you just want a player base, mods are probably the fastest way to get to that point. If you want to take in money, it's like making the game is probably the better way of doing it. Is it a known bug that sometimes the cost of the next town perk disappears from the left menu? So that disappears when you have a choice that you haven't made. So here, for example, choose is there. So when I click town perks, I still have to choose one. So same thing with build. If I build, I've spent the money and now it doesn't cost anything. So it just says build because you still have an outstanding choice. Same thing with hire. I click that. So now there are no costs for anything other than this, I guess. Yeah, there we go. So now there are no costs whatsoever. That is intentional, but it could probably be made clearer. Basically, like green means you can act, and sometimes acting is choosing, and sometimes acting is purchasing. And if you don't have enough money, then this won't be green. If you don't have an outstanding choice, might have closed the window at some point. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I think we need to somehow make that clearer. Been around for over a decade, and there are people that are still supporting a single mod. Yeah, there were a lot of mods for Diablo 2, at least back in the day. Then I think Blizzard made like a JSON-based modding interface or something. I don't know exactly how they did that. It makes no sense. I have to figure out everything. If they have documentation, that should probably clarify things. But they also probably have forums or something where you can go and ask questions. Okay, so this is for challenge mode. As long as these buttons don't show up in regular mode, I think we're okay. And then this, I thought maybe we should just try to make this 96 by 96. I wonder what it would look like if we did this. Yeah, let's just go try it out. So where is this? This is in purchased skill button. And we have an icon here that is 64 by 64. If we just make it 96 by 96, how does this look? Is it good or bad? All right, so we go build the town hall. It's better. Yeah, it's definitely better. And we'll probably remove a couple of these eventually too. Yeah, I'll just take a picture of it, 96 by 96, and we'll write that down. What game engine am I using? Hey, welcome in. I'm using Godot. Yeah, let's edit this. Just increasing the perk size, the icon size in purchased skill button to 96 by 96. Makes it look a lot better. I should try it with some of the other ones. Like that's That's the town hall. This is the garbage line. Yeah, I think this looks nice. The town hall has the most. Everything else has at most 6, I think. But the town hall has 9. So yeah, 6 show up there. If I'm not mistaken, the fishing pond has 4. Yep, the farm has 5. Yep, and then the treasure room has 6, I think. Yeah, 6. Well, we don't have icons for those. What do you use to annotate the snapshots? That's something called Shotter. And I like it quite a lot. I use ShareX back on Windows, and I thought that was pretty good too. Shotter is even better because it just pops up the annotation thing immediately, and you can just draw arrows to things or put boxes around stuff or put an extra text. And put the little counters if you want. So yeah, there's a lot of nice things you can do. And then at the end of all of that, like, crop your image and just press escape and it's on your clipboard. And now I can paste it wherever I want. All right. And then this, ask if this is intentional. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff tomorrow. What was the Windows app you just said? It's the one just above, like the link directly above your message. Get ShareX. It was nice, but it doesn't let you, or well, maybe it does. I don't know. It's a more complicated program. And it can do things that are kind of interesting. Like it can automatically upload to Imager, for example. But I don't, now that I've used this workflow of take a screenshot and then annotate it immediately. And sometimes you accidentally take a screenshot, or sometimes you only want like, oh, I'm going to send this to a friend. This is a funny picture or something like that. So you take that and you just want to send it to a friend without it being on your file system. So like I need to actually hit save for this to save. 90% of the time, I don't want to save a screenshot. I just want to share it with somebody and then be done with it. And yeah, I rarely want to upload it because I'm usually just posting to Discord where you can just paste it. It's like I don't need it to be on Imager or anything. Okay. So let's delete some of this stuff. This is, I mean, I'm going to write it in August, but August is basically done. So maybe we should just move all this stuff here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there we have it. Wonder when I should reach out to press. August 22nd. I know. I know we're not going to have any, like, not much more time in August. I've been saying this, but my general plan was we need Skeleseller to have some replayability. And that's where challenge mode comes in. And since we need this to be the case, challenge mode has to work. So my general plan was work on challenge mode until it's good and just ignore everything else in the meantime. So if this took another 2 months, that's what we would do. Because I can't launch the game without it having the replayability in it. Now what we could do is we could launch the game with challenge mode in a 80% state where it's playable, it's fun, but we're missing like 5 perks or something. That'd be okay. Or we only really balanced, let's say 4 or 5 specializations or something. That could work, and we could always add the other content later. But we need to make sure that the content that's there is fun. So yeah, I think this has been cleaned up. All right, let's go start some work on this. So I'm gonna go make a new branch and make sure we're up to date here. And then, oh no, we tested that briefly. So discard that. All right, so get checkout. We're gonna start you with the quick move menu. There. If you became a game designer or developer, can I work for you? If you become a game designer or developer, can I work for you? I already am a game designer developer. But I mean, it's hard to say one way or another. It's like, I guess what you're really asking is if Skeleseller is like super successful, Will there be a job opening or something? And it's like, in order to get to the point where it's successful, if we're doing anything more than just like launching the game and it becomes successful, then probably there's going to be a much more defined path. Like, oh, it's getting bigger, so now I need to hire someone to do this or hire someone to do that. So yeah, there probably would be some space. And then the question would be like, fit and interviews and everything. But in general, I mean, think about this. Let's say you made a game, pick any game that you know and like. I mean, maybe like Roblox or something. And now imagine that you own this franchise or this IP, and you're making whatever, like $1 million per year. Uh, how do you find people to work on the project? So like, put yourself in those shoes. And yeah, what would you do? You probably would not find a random person through Twitch chat, right? And you probably wouldn't want to teach them game development. You'd probably be like, I just want to make more money, so let me hire someone who knows what they're doing. And I mean, if not, I don't think you're probably giving your product a good shot. All right, so now we should start with a quick move menu, which it was already kind of there anyway, and now it's just officially there. Yeah. So let's try this. People ask for this. Let's see if it breaks the game or something. So that means that we can't have it over here in the town perk generator item actions. So this is gone. Grant the quick move menu by default in challenge mode. A bunch of people asked for this. They felt like too much of the game hinged on having this menu. Plus, there's a bug right now where the keyboard shortcuts work even if you don't have the menu unlocked. So people were using it anyway. Okay. All right, flesh out different levels of perks that we already have. Yeah, so I think we need to look through pretty much all of them. And I wrote some code that lets us get different perk levels based on whether you're in challenge mode or not. And I think the slime hunger one is one where this happens. Yeah, we have values for regular mode. We have values for challenge mode. And then we just select the list based on whether you're in challenge mode or not. And that's it. So it's like 3 lines of code. And we already have one of the lines of code because we already defined it for regular mode. I always want to learn to write code and design games. I never went to college because I never learned math because I was learning disabled because my brain was not as developed as my body. I think you can learn how to write code and design games. I just don't think you should expect to do it from someone else paying you to work on an already developed game. Like I said, imagine, just pick any game that already exists out there. Imagine, you already talked about Schedule 1. Like, if you ran Schedule 1, would you want to hire someone who doesn't know how to code to code? And then you teach them the job so that they can do it. It's like, you'd probably want them to just learn ahead of time. So yeah, you should try things out. You should go learn some basic coding, maybe try out a game engine. The designing games part is much harder to test because you can't really close the feedback loop on that one easily. So when it comes to developing a game, the reason it's way easier to test at least is because at the end of developing a game, you have a game and you can share that with people and you can find out is it working. Actually, sorry, you can yourself do that. You can tell if the game is working. Whereas with the game design, you can't tell if the game works until you've actually developed it. So it's like designing might take you a month, but then you don't just have a game at the end of that. I didn't say anything about being paid. I think you're missing the point. Again, if you ran Schedule 1, would you want someone to like apprentice for you? You're probably not some like mega company. You'd have to spend a bunch of time making sure they're learning, that they're ramping up well, giving them tasks, making sure the tasks are working well, like sitting with them to be like, hey, this wasn't totally correct. Here's why it wasn't correct. You basically come up with like a lesson plan. Like, would you do that? And if the answer is yes, then I mean, by all means, we can talk about this a little bit more. It's not like it's going to change my mind. I think you're not putting yourself in the shoes of someone who's in my position. you probably wouldn't want an apprentice. So yeah, no. I mean, I don't think this has anything to do with being a jerk or not. I just think it comes down to like, what are you in the business of doing, right? Well, why not learn Buckethead? Why not go start with like a learn Python tutorial or something like that, or I don't know, download Godot and try a tutorial there. You could you could get started on either of these very quickly, and I don't think a lot of people realize how easy it is. If you just type Godot engine, you'll find the page. You click download, and you're done. You now have Godot on your machine. You can open it, and you'll see something that looks kind of like this. Just the engine, a blank scene, and from there you could add in, let's say, a picture. You just drag this in. Look, we have a fireball in our game. And then you can click this button and attach a script, and you can start writing code. And it's as simple as that. I'm not saying that learning coding is going to be simple, but getting to the point where you're learning coding is so like straightforwardly easy that if you felt like, oh, there's going to be a large learning curve to even getting to the point where I'm learning coding, that's a misunderstanding. Anyone can do this nowadays with YouTube and ChatGPT. Yeah, I think anyone can learn. I think learning with AI is probably not the best route at first. I think you probably need to exercise your brain. And I think every time you use AI, you're sort of offloading that part. I hate Control Squat Delete. Didn't even know these programs existed. I told you last week I don't have a computer right now, but I'm a fast learner. Yeah, but you don't need a computer. And people even suggested things you could use back then too. You said you have an iPad, right? I think you're creating barriers for yourself though. Like if whatever device you're on right now that's allowing you to type Twitch chat messages, you can go learn coding, like right this very minute. So if you're not learning coding, it means you're not motivated to research what your options are. And that's what look, I think I'm going to kind of leave it at this, but I'd say stop creating barriers like this. I didn't even know these programs existed. That's on you at this point. Like just Google stuff. Okay, so we have a bunch of perks that are in here. And anything with levels we could potentially increase. So I think the best way to do this is just look through all of these. I have an issue making excuses for yourself. That much is very apparent. you you really should work on that. And I think you're just distracting Chad at this point by saying like, hey, I don't know how to do this stuff. I'm not saying that a lot of people are chatting, but yeah. I don't think we want to change this one. Customer speed, kind of the same thing. We could allow this to go to an even crazier level here. In fact, I kind of wonder, what if we try that? Let's set this to like 2. Or you know what's easier? Well, yeah, I guess that's fine. And then let's go delete the rest of these things. All right, so now when we get our first town perk, it's going to be customer speed. And we can get this a bunch of times. So this is the level that we previously stopped at here. And now we're going to make them go lightning speed. Oh, wait. Wait. Did that not work? No, it says max level 3. Okay, this was a problem. This needed to be this dot count -1. Coding is something I've been interested in for a while now, but it just seems so intimidating to start out. Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be intimidating. I guess the reason I'm reacting the way I am is because it's one thing to say I want to learn in a Twitch chat that you haven't been in for a long time, and then be told, hey, here's how you'd start learning, and be like, here's why I can't do that. That's an entirely different case from it is difficult to learn, and then you move on, and that's the end of your day. And I think there are ways to make it easier. So I think part of it is setting expectations. Like I think a lot of people think I'm going to learn to code so that and then dot, dot, dot. And so that might be something like, I can make a game, I can make a website, I can make a tool that I want, I can make a mod, I can make whatever. It's like or I can make money. Maybe that's the end of this. This is focusing on the goal, and the expectation is that you're not going to get there in like a week where you're going to make this thing, any of these things, if you don't know how to code yet. You're probably going to learn really basic things like if statements and variables and control flow and functions and any other number of other things. And like, if you enjoy this process, then it'll be fun and it'll naturally lead to all the things that'll get you toward your goal. But if you're not expecting those things, if you're like, oh, I want to make money coding, and then you get to an if statement, you're like, oh God, I don't understand this. Like, why am I doing this? When do I make money? Then it's going to be frustrating for you and you'll probably bail out. And coding is generally something you spend many months or many years getting to the point where you feel comfortable. And even then, you still gain expertise over time. If I had a Materna and a Snow Goose, can you stick yourself in a chair for 4 hours and make something? It's all about time investment. I think I've said this in the past. I think learning is time and practice. Pretty much something like that. I know there's some amount of like steering this in the right direction too, but you can't really skip the time aspect and you can't really skip the practice aspect. There's some amount of theory versus practice. And I like this example. I came up with this for a video a while ago, but imagine if you wanted to learn like a new keyboard layout. So you go to Google and you type something like Dvorak keyboard layout. And let's say you've never used this before, right? I'm assuming that you're learning this, so this is new to you. And you look at this. You stare at this every single day for like 2 hours, but you never actually have a Dvorak keyboard. Now, after 10 days, so you spent 20 hours staring at this, you now have the keyboard in front of you. How fast do you type on it? And it's a kind of funny question, right? It's like, oh, you might think you'll type fast, but you probably won't, because you wouldn't have trained your muscle memory just by looking at a picture. So like, yeah, you probably memorized all of these within the first 30 minutes. But then in actually trying it out, you're like, whoa, this is way harder than I thought. So yeah, I think it's not just like, am I spending time doing something? It's also, am I spending time doing the right things? What do you use for graphic design? I don't do graphic design. I'm very bad at it. Also, the factor that learning has to have some kind of fun factor. I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think if learning feels like difficult or that the barrier to entry is too high, I think there are a lot of little tricks you can do to maybe lower it. As an example, one trick that's always available no matter what you're learning is like, get a friend involved. Maybe you're learning how to snowboard. So see if a friend wants to snowboard with you. See if a friend already knows snowboarding. See if a friend is just like, they can just be your accountability buddy. And you're going snowboarding and they're just like, hey, what was your progress this week? There are lots of those things you can do where it's like, oh, cool, this is now fun for a different reason. And it didn't even have to be specific to that task. Like, you can learn coding while your friend learns archery. And as long as you're both motivating each other, it can potentially work. All right, so I want to see what happens when we get this to the turbo speed customers. So we're going to click this and this. Even that's not like super crazy. So we could add another couple levels of these things. I guess once you have the enchanter, it can get crazy. But I don't have any of the perks for this now. And it's not as noticeable. Can you overcome stress and frustration with passion? Do you enjoy learning new things? I don't think it needs to be with passion. I think it can just be with some dedication. And I think that's kind of what school preps people for. Like, you probably don't care about every subject you were learning, but at some point you were like, well, I need to do this because I need to pass the test, or I need to whatever, get into a good college or something like that. So you'd be like, well, I'll study this thing anyway. It's like that level of conviction that gets you to stick with something. Will you snowboard with me? No. I went skiing twice in my life and I was like, that's enough for me. I don't need to try any other snow sports. All right, so we give 20%, then 25, then 30. We can just kind of keep up with that same progression. Although I do wonder if we should change the spells we give you. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah. Yeah, and I talked about this at length in this video I made about learning Colmac. Like it really did shake me that I couldn't learn it as fast as I wanted to. And this is after I've learned a whole bunch of things in my life and should have known that it might not be fast. Okay, so let's do what we did over here. This is the wrong thing. I meant to put this here. So this is regular mode, cumulative percent bonus. Not really per level. And then one for challenge mode. Okay, so I think we'll just add a couple more levels here. Maybe like, oh wait, how do we set the max level? Max level deferred to virtual property. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, I'm glad I did that. Yeah. Customer increase list. We're going to do the same thing over here. This is static. And goes below the override. Interesting. What's your words per minute? I don't have a serious answer for that. I just have a bunch of joking answers there. I generally just, I don't even know. I generally just wanted to have a tongue-in-cheek answer. There's no major reason. I just thought it was funny. All right, so challenge mode can go up to, what do we have? 3, 5, so 1.1. And then let's just set it to 1.5. Would you recommend Colmac or Dvorak for people who spend a lot of time? Was it worth it? My general takeaway is if you're typing incorrectly or slowly, then it can be worth learning a new layout. If you're typing quickly already, it probably won't improve much, if at all. Or if you have hand strain. The reason I say this is I was already typing pretty quickly on QWERTY, and I don't think I'm typing any faster now that I'm on Colmac. And as far as correctly, like some people type quickly, but with only, let's say, 4 fingers instead of using all of their fingers. If you want to fix that pattern, you could. Learning a new layout will probably do that. And then the hand strain bit, I'm still convinced that probably just working out is better than changing your layout. So just lift some weights. And if that's not an option for whatever reason, then yeah, maybe changing your layout will help. But I think in general, it's not going to be as effective as just improving your muscles. Hey, Lightbeard, didn't notice a change in time speed when I switched, but I did notice my hands feel less tired or sore. Yeah, I don't know if I've even noticed that between QWERTY and Colmac. It's hard to say. It's also hard to say because it takes a really long time to learn, so I have to now try to remember back like 2 years ago. Hey, Phil. What do you think about the AI slippery slope encoding? Which particular one? Is it like the AI will take our jobs, or is it the AI will stop us from having to think about code, so we'll lose our skills, or some other one, I guess? I'm happy to chime in. Oh, meaning people using it or relying on it too much? Okay, so like this one, pretty much. Yeah, I think that is potentially a risk. And I think it all comes down to what is your goal with this stuff. So if you think about it, like you'd use a calculator right now to do basic math operations, right? If you forgot how to do these operations, does your life suffer in any way? Like, no, probably not. If you never remember manually what is 7 times 6, if you can't answer what that is, your life will probably not have any meaningful impact to it. You never have to do mental math that quickly. You'll always have your phone on you probably. So similarly, I think if you forget how to code, if your goal was never to be good at coding and it was just to have products get created, then I think it can still be fine. So I'm not too worried about it from that perspective. I think some human out there needs to have this knowledge or else things won't get built up anymore. And right now, AI isn't at the point where it's producing standalone good code, but it might eventually get to that point. And at that point, if you're like, okay, well, I don't want to, I don't want to type code anymore. I don't think there's a problem with that. I actually kind of look at it. This is how writing works in my current life. I hate writing. Like physically take a pen to paper kind of writing. I hate it. I think it's slow. My writing has always been terrible. I can type at like 5 times the speed. I guess that's the slow point again. And it uses a physical medium that you don't always have on hand, or your pen might break or something. There's a bunch of reasons I don't like it. And I don't have to do it anymore. I feel like it's been pretty much eliminated from my life because of all the digital things that we have. I'm not worried I might forget how to write, although I am a little worried that my writing will just keep getting worse and worse as I'm not practicing it. But yeah, I don't, it's at least not a concern for me. Or I should say, it's not a concern from my point of view, whether or not it's for me as the subject of this concern. Now back to 40 words per minute, sealing daily improvements. Yeah. If you were only typing, if you feel like you were typing slowly, I think changing layouts and learning correctly will make you type a lot faster. I think probably every sort of normal capability person is capable of typing probably at least 60 words per minute. And that the people who aren't, who don't have any other like sort of problems, I guess, you probably just haven't tried to speed it up or have no major reason. And I'm not saying they should learn how to speed it up. It's just they probably could. Yeah. Hey, Krasner. Happy Friday. Thanks for the resub. How's it going, Krasner? How's your life going? Okay, so anywhere we would have used this now changes. And that's it. So now in challenge mode, we have another couple levels of this. It actually kind of makes me wonder if we should rebalance the existing levels, because my idea here at least was we should expand the number of levels and it'll make for more interesting choices. Like, oh, I already have a bunch of this, but this perk is actually better. So yeah, I think I still want to keep doing this. Let's look through the rest of these. So cloning is already what, 1, 2, and then 3. Cloning ability, yeah. Yeah, it's just 1 worker per level, and there are 3 levels. Should we add a 4th level? I don't see why not. Yeah, let's just set the max level to 4. Just hanging out today now that our stuff is ready for Monday launch. I had a schedule. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty good. Take care, Kevin. Have a good meeting. So shiny loot. These numbers were specifically chosen very early on to just do something, but not necessarily be the most impactful. So it's 5%, 20%, 30%, and then 35%. So if you have an item worth 3 gold, and we're doing the ceiling of the value times the bonus, or I guess 1 plus the bonus, then that means that it's going to be $4 gold, except for this one, which is going to be 5 gold. Because 3 times 1.35 is, yeah, just barely over 4, so it goes up to 5. So for this, it's not really making a difference. But the most valuable item in the games, the most valuable item in the game is probably the fire sword. Yeah, 36. So some of these get to like 30, but let's just take 25 as our actual value. So at 25 gold, let's take all of these things. And now we're going to do the ceiling of 25 plus 1.2, I guess, times that. That didn't work. What did I do wrong here? Oh, I typed 1.5, 1.05 is what I meant. Okay, yeah, so those are what these numbers are. So 27, so you get plus 2 gold, plus 5, plus 8, and plus 9. That last bonus is not really an interesting bonus. So we should change that at the very least. Whereas in regular mode, this doesn't matter because it's just straight upside after some amount of time. And we'll probably add even more items. So yeah, I should change this. Hey, Granny said, we might get to a point where the barrier to creating new ways of doing things, like a new React, and getting people to adopt them are hindered by AI only knowing the old things. Oh yeah, that's kind of interesting. I hadn't thought of that. You know what, though? I think with any sort of transition period that we're in, so for example, I wonder this with cars. we're going from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles, and there are going to be a lot of people who cling to internal combustion engine cars for whatever reason. So the transition might have been able to be fast, but a bunch of people will want the old thing for a while. I think the same thing's going to happen with programming, where sure, a new wave of developers might have only ever known AI and will only ever develop using AI, but there's still a lot of older developers, and some of them might never use AI, some might only use it sparingly. So there will still be an ecosystem for those people, and they can still help, I guess, train new models. But then also this gets to the point of like, will we have an artificial general intelligence such that they don't need there to be a large corpus of data out there? They can produce it themselves. Although I guess at that point we might have hit a singularity where we have other problems. All right, so we are going to change this until the old developers die. Yeah, so I don't know what time scale we're talking about here. If you're talking about like 40 years from now, this might be the case. Yeah, I could totally see that. But if we're saying like 5 years from now, I don't think that'll be the case. All right, so value bonus, regular mode, and value bonus. Challenge mode, and then copy these for both of them. And then change challenge mode to go up to 45%. That's probably too much. Maybe just 40%. And even that I'm not certain about, but at least it's a better bonus. Yeah. All right, so max level should be this thing. Then this should go over here. Then this should be, oh, that's called customer increase. I don't think that's correct. Speed list. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, sure. All right, so this will be called the bonuses or bonus list or something like that. And then we copy this in. All right, so this is bonus list. This is the title screen, challenge mode, that. And then we just need to replace these two things. All right. Get bonus percent. What is that? Okay, yeah. All right, nice. So we just changed that in a minor way. I guess I need to just keep going with this town generator. So next up is worker speed. I did change customer speed, right? So I should probably consider changing worker speed. I actually don't think there's a problem with this. I think I'm going to leave this as is. All right, more displays. I think that's all fine. More warehouse storage, that's fine. All right, now we're getting to auto eat. Auto eat is admittedly not very interesting at 15 seconds. So if anything, we should just change the values so that it starts at infinite, then 10, then 5, then 0. But 15 is not great. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Yeah, I want to rebalance all of this stuff. And I'm glad I'm tackling this because it's not that hard to think about. And it's not like it's a difficult code change. So this is going to be cooldowns, regular mode. We copy this. And then we change the challenge mode 1 to be that. And then we're pretty much done. These have the same number, but we might as well do this too. Get this over here. Change this to cooldowns list. Go get the right cooldown list. Good. And then just use it in both the different spots. There. All right, now what am I missing? Cannot implicitly convert. Oh, it's an int. Wait, no, it's a float. What's going on here? Hold on a second. Did that change? I'm confused. I should not have. It was a list of integers. Okay, yeah. It was supposed to be ints the whole time. I was confused by that. Yeah, now we're nice. Now it's working. All right. All right, so that one's done. Next up, critical eats. I'll have to think about this. Gonna become a hipster coder. 100% handmade Git repositories for me. I do wonder, like, I don't have an existing product out there that's making money. So for me to try something like, let's spend $30 per code session to make new code, I think it would have to show that it's paying off sooner. But for a company, $30 extra per day per developer is practically nothing. So like, oh yeah, go try out coding features with AI. I need to give it more of a shot sometimes. And I don't think it's going to be great yet, but I think at least I'd be able to track what's improving, see what the cognitive load is on reviewing AI code as you're writing. Okay, so for this one, the chances are 15%, 30%, 45%, and the bonuses are an extra 40% per level of value. And this is for auto eating from the garbage slime. I would like there to be some more depth that you can get, even if you've chosen this as your specialization. But I'm not sure how we do this without just completely eclipsing everything else in the game. Yeah. I don't think it's this, though. I think it's maybe faster hunger is what we would have to change. And I think what we do is we allow this to go even one level higher. So like 2.5. If this ever showed up, it'd be like the number one perk for you to pick. Yeah. And then we need to change it so that we're not giving you the maximum level of this. We're requiring you to get that extra level in it. I don't know how I feel about that. So right now we're just maxing every one of these 4 things. And what I'm suggesting is, what if we made it so that it gives you the max level -1 of this one. I mean, we can try it. Yeah. I think what I need to do is say force grant ability at specific level. Ability ID int level. Ability IDs with duplicates. Oh, I see. And then just add it like this. Yeah. All right, I see what we can do here. So we can copy this up to here. And then instead of going through a list of these, we just get the 1. And then we're basically done. Levels needed equals max level minus current level. It's target level minus current level. And that's it, I guess. No, wait, don't we need to then call force grant ability? Force grant abilities. Yeah. So now this can be changed to do force grant at specific level, where we get the max level of the ability. This is kind of dumb. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. Maybe if the level isn't specified, we assume that it's a maximum. Yeah, I think that'd be a little bit smarter. Specify -1 to grant the ability at its maximum level. Yeah. All right, so if level is -1, set it to that. Okie doke. Then delete this. Delete this. All right, that should hopefully work. Now let's try that out. So we go over to here. We say grant at specific level. So I want to grant. Oh, you know what would be nice? It should be, if it's 0 or less, then it's that difference from the max level. Specify a number 0 or less to grant that many levels away from the maximum. Hey, who cares? Hey, Schrodinger's. How did the oh darn it. How did the birthday celebration go? I think you said what you were going to be doing. I forgot. Yeah. Your point was that the reason we make new ways of doing things is to make it easier for humans. If AI fills that gap, maybe we don't need new ways. Yeah, that's an interesting way of thinking about things. I do wonder, will we get to a point where a human wouldn't really be able to understand the code that's produced? It's like humans aren't reading zeros and ones. But we can read assembly, but most people aren't reading assembly. At what point does coding look like the Matrix? I don't even see the numbers anymore. Camping, right. Yeah, that's right. Had a lot of fun, cooked a lot of food. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so if this is less than 0 or less than or equal to 0, then the level is going to be this minus the level. Yeah. Incredibly rich. Not anymore. So now this is going to be 0 to represent that it should be at the max level. And then this is going to be that we want to grant ability ID dot faster hunger at -1 and then get rid of it from here. Let's go try this because I don't know if I coded this correctly. It'll be nice if this actually worked. And then we just need to update a tooltip somewhere because it says that you get everything maxed out when clearly that's no longer the case. So we need to go into this specialization, start a new run. So we got increased appetite level 5, food critic level 3. I think that's broken. It says level 5. Oh, absolute value. I forgot. Let's actually plus this. Yeah, or minus the absolute value. Either one, it's the same. All right, let's try that again. Hopefully that fixes it. All right, I think we did. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that's what the -1 does. It puts us at 1 level away from the maximum. So now we would be able to get another perk that has... I mean, I didn't guarantee that it shows up, so this might take a long time. All right, hold on a second. Yeah, it's not being offered anywhere. It should get offered, though. Oh, there it is. Yeah, nice. Garbage time gets hungry faster. So it's 250%. So how do we even see much of a difference here? Yeah, how long does it take? This is with it at 200%. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it probably takes like 25 seconds to fill because it gets slower as time goes on. So now if we got that new perk, and then make it eat all these things. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not so obvious because we went from plus 200% to plus 250%. So it really only got 25% faster if you think about it just in terms of the number differences. Although that should still be noticeable. I wonder if we should make it go up to 300%. Or put 2 levels that you could upgrade it. So like anything with a specialization, we could allow you to get another couple levels of this. And that you otherwise would probably never get those levels. It could be interesting. Although we could also just kind of max this out. And at that point, you're not ever selling anything. In fact, you're already probably not selling anything, right? Like, what if we just set this to 5 here? All right, so we get rid of these. We go try this out. Doesn't need to understand how something works to use it effectively. Maybe become a niche. Yeah, I agree with that. So now we go into this. And we're going to get the 500% bonus. So now this thing gets fed a few items. In fact, let's just manually do this. So stuff that would have sold for 3 gold is giving me like 7, 11, 7, 5. And then I wait a little bit of time and it's still going to give me like way more than normal, right? Yeah, 5, 5. So it doesn't even make sense. Why is it giving? I guess it's critting so much. So it doesn't even make sense to sell a single item at that point. Which is kind of interesting. Yeah, like some of these are giving 1 or 2. But in general, it's accumulating hunger so fast. I like it. I like it as an idea. It's like the ultimate perk for this. All right, well, let's try it out. Yeah, let's set it to 4, though, instead of 5. And maybe this one can be 3. Yeah. And then we change the challenge mode thing to say that it grants it a -2. I mean, at this point, we could just say to grant it a level 3. We don't need to say 2 from the end. It doesn't really make a difference, though. And then we need to change a tooltip somewhere. So the tooltip is in new challenge run for this. And most of its perks maxed out. Or many of its related perks. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not. Okay, hang on. Many of its related perks just implies that if there were like 4 perks that you got most of them. But actually what we're talking about is like the 4 perks, many levels. You got most of those. Yeah, I'll say most of its perks maxed out. I think that's clearer. All right, so now back to this. So we got more max fish. Should this even have another level? I don't think it needs another level. I don't even think we need to rebalance this for challenge mode, do we? 3, 8, 20, 45. We could actually delete a level from here because this is just not a very interesting perk. Three, 8, 20, 45. This is how many fish you can have in the pond, but each one costs you a certain amount of money in terms of potions. And we have it set to 20 gold, and it could lower itself down to, I think, 12. So to get 20 fish means you're spending 240 gold worth of potions. I mean, what are the odds that happens? Unless we have some sort of like generate extra fish thing. And I don't even think you would want... I think we can just delete the last level. And say that you have a maximum of 20. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. All right, let's go do that then. Faster hunger. So we just delete the final level. And then we call this max fish. Wish. Yeah. Concerned about the near-term viability of game engines like Unity and Godot. AI is good at pumping out code, but it isn't good at working in an editor. I think the editors, they don't have to be used for a lot of what you do. Like even right now, I'm not using the Godot editor to do this stuff. I would just use it for UI things. And I think if developers can only have to focus on the UI, that's still a major gain. But even then, if you think about it, the scene files for Godot, like if we look at any of these things, it's already in a text format. So an AI could work with this. And then you just leave the engine to do the rendering for it. Yeah, I can produce UI through code on editor. Yeah, and it still can. I don't know how Unity works, but at least for Godot, it could make this stuff. I don't think that's unreasonable. Okay, we're getting this and this. I should just copy the two of those together. So this is going to be the max fish list. Yep. And then it should know how to change those. And then we just change that one and that one. Okay. And I guess let's bump this to 25. We'll split the difference a little bit. So 3 and then 8 and then 25. I don't think he'll ever need to get 25 of them. And we could always change this in the future too. It's not that hard. All I'm doing is changing numbers. Okay, next up is more eggs. So more eggs. So 20%, 40%, 60%. We could have this get really cheap. Do we want it to? I mean, the fishing spec was already busted right now, but that's because there were no constraints. Let me think about this a little bit more. Cost 20 gold now to get a fish. Yeah, it costs 20. We could have it so that for fishing specialization, it's like way cheaper. Although it's already, it now costs 8. All right, never mind. This is probably busted. All right, let's just not touch that one. I don't know. Let's leave it as is. Glowy fish. I also kind of don't think we should touch this one. It does have 5 levels in the, or no, it has 4 levels. Yeah, I think this is okay. And what's the last one? Flimsy fish? Yeah. I guess there's nothing much more we're adding to that. There's spicy cooking. We could change that one. 30% chance to multiply it. No, I don't think I'm going to do anything about this stuff. So really only the garbage slime got another level of something. 2 levels, actually. All right, what about the crops? We have crop variety. I can't really do anything about that. Same thing with that. Crop growth speed I could change. And harvesting efficiency could have another level. Could harvest 5 at a time and then your whole farm at a time. But yeah, let's make a new speed bonus list. All right. Speed bonus, regular mode, and challenge mode. All right, so challenge mode, we could have this bump itself up to 60% faster, maybe even like 75%, and then 125%. That might be dumb. I don't know. We're just messing around with stuff. Who knows? This is called speed bonus, speed list. Wonder how well an AI would be able to create the Godot text specification of a scene if you give it a physical description. Yeah, I wonder as well. Because to an AI, it shouldn't really matter that it was supposed to be UI or was supposed to be code. Both require a certain amount of precision. And translating of requirements into code. I guess with the UI, some of these numbers are they sort of unpack to much more than what they seem to. But I've never tried it. Okay, so this is crop growth speed. We don't want to grant you all of this. So for the farming specialization, we're going to do the same thing we did over here and allow you to get 2 more levels of this thing. I'm just not certain. I don't think this is doing a good thing for the game. So this was what? Crop growth speed? Here. The thing that I don't like about this is if we're giving you every perk other than this and they're all synergistic, then it means that this perk is like the king of all perks for you to get. And yeah, I just don't think that's very interesting. It's like when you see that perk, just take it no matter what. It's going to be the best for you. Oh, well. And most farming perks maxed out. So that's most of its perks maxed out. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Mana crystal. Okay. How do I want to do this? I think the customer spell potency and worker spell potency could be changed. They're 50%, then 75, then 100. I wonder if they could just each go up by 50%. Not sure how that applies to Godot or other tools. Yeah, although, you know what's kind of interesting? AI doesn't necessarily need to do it in isolation. You could have AI to generate the TSCN file for Godot, and then you could have it build the project and then take a screenshot and then compare with what it should look like. Something along those lines where, yeah, maybe it's not very good at this first bit, but then it can kind of tweak some stuff there. Hey, Leap Your Girl. Yeah, thank you. I do think it was good, and I don't want to completely like negate what I worked on. We made huge strides with challenge mode. There's still probably like 2 weeks of stuff to do, and I'm losing a bit of steam. So that's why we're taking today a lot easier than I normally would. Yeah. All right, so customer spell and worker spell. Yeah, I want to change these. All right, let's do that. So speed bonus, regular mode, and challenge mode. And these will go up by 1 or 50% each time. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Or maybe, hang on, let's think about this. It used to be 50, 75, 100. And I'm suggesting that maybe we change it to this, but that might be a little too much. If we were to split the difference and say that it should go by 75% total, then I guess we'd do something like 50%, 85%, 125%. I think that could work. Let's start with that. It's still a buff. It's just not so stark. Yeah. All right, so this is going to be this thing. Also, it was a super important realization that I even should have days like today. I think my expectations on myself are pretty high. And I imagine there are a lot of people who have that same sort of high expectations on themselves. And just having a day where you're like, I will explicitly have low expectations for what I'm doing is not none. I'm not taking today as a vacation day. And maybe that would have been a good idea. But I feel good doing this stuff, and it was stuff that needed to be done. I think that's what's tough about always tackling the highest priority thing. Is that the highest priority thing, it feels like this death march sometimes. Like sometimes you should do a fun task, or you should do a low priority task that would, I don't know, benefit some people. Or just an easy task. Not necessarily even something that's got a massive impact. Like this, what we're doing right now is important and it's easy, but it's not the most important thing. It's just of like high importance, not very high. So actually, this is not like a misstep in prioritization, but it's providing a lot of benefits. It's just making me feel like I'm doing something. And now it's not hanging over me. I think that's another thing that I've noticed. I am very organized about my to-do list usually, but they're still big. And having a smaller to-do list feels more manageable. So every once in a while, I'll just go like a week without really managing my personal to-do list. And then I'm like, oh my God, there's so much stuff. Like I got to look into that and I got to mail that out and I got to do this and the other thing. And sometimes it's like, well, just cut some things off the to-do list. So yeah. All right. This one's good. I want to copy paste this same thing over for the worker spell. Worker spell potency. We could also add another level for this. I don't think players would often get that other level. So I don't think I want to do anything about that for right now. But yeah, this is going to be pretty much a copy paste of everything we had here. And then we just changed this to speed list and this to speed list. And import these things. Okie dokie. Item spell I'm not changing. In fact, I might actually make this worse. It's right now 25%, 50%, 75%. I almost kind of wonder if it should be like that. But I think a 20% chance to start with is pretty low. Anyway, I won't touch it for now. What about mana crystal? So there are a lot of levels of this. We give you a lot more mana regeneration. And we give you a lot more maximum mana. I almost wonder if we should give you one more level of this. The problem is we have mana per second. At 10 mana per second, it means you get 400 mana, the cost for a spell, in 40 seconds. And spells last for 30 seconds. So it does mean you can drain your mana down by just continually casting spells. But if we improve this by pretty much any number, then we're getting to the point where it doesn't matter. Like the difference between 500 mana per second regeneration and 50,000 is meaningless. Because at 500, you already can't cast all the spells. And at 50,000, you wouldn't be able to cast all the spells. Or sorry, you can't cast them fast enough to like lower down to 0 mana. So yeah, these functionally have no difference. So the difference between 10 and 12, for example, would be felt, but there's going to be some point where it just doesn't really matter. I don't think we should modify this as a result of that. And if we were to, I think the only thing we would do is we would make this number go up a little bit higher. And I don't see why we couldn't just change it for regular mode too. Hey, Blue Blue. Sometimes you need to go slow for a bit in order to go fast later on. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes you need to like stop altogether in order to go fast later on. Yeah. So we could just up this to 1100, but I don't really see a big need to do that. So let's just not touch that one. And auto casting. So the last one we haven't looked at then for enchanting is entropic magic, which is a chance to cast another spell. And it's 20%, then 40%, then 60%. I think let's leave that as is too. Okay, so now we get to these. This and this can't be modified at all. And these could be, but probably shouldn't be. We could have like a more loot key rarity. What level is this? 5%, then 20, then 35. So the first level is already a massive buff. We could lower the number of levels you have for this. Maybe let's just give you one level less in the pirate specialization. Yeah. Yeah, I'll try that. Okay, so key rarity. We're going to take this and we're going to make it so that it's not quite the maximum level when you get it. So we take key rarity out. We put it here. Make it -1. And then we go change the tooltip for pirate spec. Start with the treasure room and key storage, and most of And most treasure perks maxed out. Yeah, good. Okay, so we revamped pretty much everything. Or rather, I looked through everything and then revamped the appropriate ones. What's the problem here? This is just max fish. This needs a max fish list, which is not public. Why do we do this? I mean, I could make it public. Yeah. Static should appear before non-static members. Technically, that would be read-only as well. All right, let's try this out. So we go into, what did I change? I changed 3 of them, right? Farming, garbage slime, and treasure room. So farming, most of its perks maxed out. Most of its perks maxed out. And most treasure room perks maxed out. Okay, let's try them all. I want to just make sure it's working. Yeah, so well water has 2 more levels. I didn't even test this. Let's go try this out. I'd have to see those perks though. We should probably test this with an actual run. All right, so we're looking for faster crop growth. I think it's called well water. Yeah, there it is. All right, so if I just plant these normally. Oh, I think it starts them with some percentage. So this is what you can get to now. But if I upgrade this, it's going to go up to 75% faster. And if I upgrade it one more time, it'll go to 125%. Let's go find it. There it is. That's 125%. So let's start the farm over. And have them plant this. Yeah, they are racing along. Could probably be even faster than that. I guess it's got to be enough time where you have a chance to forget about this. Otherwise, you'll just focus on the farm the whole time. Yeah, nice. Okay, that was farming. The next one is the garbage slime. I think we already looked at that. So we don't give you the maximum of increased appetite. And that gets pretty intense. And then the final one is this. Most treasure perks maxed out. Yeah, this one gives you not the maximum special keys level. But we haven't changed what the maximum would be. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, so rebalance town perks. How many did I change? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, wait, 9. I changed 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. The rest didn't actually change. Okay. So I rebalanced 9 perks, changing levels, power, etc. In general, perks got better for challenge mode. I also changed the farming, garbage enjoyer, and pirate specializations so that not every perk granted is at max level. This allows for some improvements to be made as the run is ongoing. Yeah, otherwise I feel like you just start with a maxed out thing and there's nothing else you can do to improve it. That's where the trade-off perk should also come into play. And I just don't have a lot of those yet. I'm just reading through this quickly. Yeah, writing the patch notes for this is going to be a little bit annoying. Yep. Cool. Yeah, nice. Okay, so commit that. Wait a second. Undo that for 1 second. Did I check in something I shouldn't have checked in? No, this stuff all needs to be checked in. Okay, commit. All right, so next up, merge PR. I should have done this originally. Both of these were changed. And this is a big improvement that Kevin made. So right now, if you go to the title screen and you look at this, it's this really poor looking UI. But Kevin changed it to be this. I think we should just do this before we push a new version. And I should probably push a new version today. Push a new version today. So merge my branch, then merge PRs. And then for the patch notes, maybe detail the changed perks like this. Old 50%, 75%, 100%, new 50%, 85%, 125%. Summary, buffed each level. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. Hey, Mitch. Thank you for subbing again. I like your notes. Thank you. And happy 49 months. Man, the 21-month streak thing. It's kind of crazy to think that it's been that long. Because I keep thinking of Skeleseller as being a year and a half, and it has been about a year and a half. But I started streaming again almost 2 years ago. It does not feel like 2 years went by. Yeah, I still remember how excited I was for that. Man. And it's not like it's been bad, or I'm like, oh, I was so excited for no reason or something. There's one thing I've kind of noticed in my life that's changed a lot, which is like video game hype. And I noticed this start to happen about probably 10 years ago, which is I would be excited about playing some game, and then I would get the game and it wouldn't live up to the excitement. And this happened enough times where I was like, I guess I've changed a bit as a person. And most recently, I got the new Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I think it's a good game. I'm having fun playing it. But at first, there was still this thought of like, oh man, it's been a couple of minutes. I'm not already having maximum fun levels. Like, what's going on? And I realized it's just that's what hype is. It's like you build something up in your head, and it doesn't end up being exactly what you built it up to be. But yeah, I'm enjoying the game. It's like that You're Getting Old South Park episode. I haven't seen that. I've watched maybe like 2 South Park episodes. One of them was a World of Warcraft one, which I really enjoyed. I think they knocked that out of the park. Crazy to think it's been 2 years. Yeah, it's just nuts. I've expressed this sentiment on stream before, but if you think about your career in terms of kind of number of years and goals you have now, probably you can achieve whatever goal you have before your career is over. So as an example, like I have, let's just simplify this. I have, let's say, 3 game ideas I really want to make. Even if they took 5 years each, that's 15 years. That's shorter than a career. Like I'll probably still be working on this sort of thing 15 years from now, maybe in a different capacity. I do find it to be very, very tough. And I was just watching Sakurai's video on Kirby Air Riders, and he starts with something like this quote, like, making a game is so hard. And he's like near genius level game designer. He's probably working with really talented people. And he said this. And I feel the same thing. And I'm not even like, yeah, we haven't even launched Skeleseller yet. And it's not my first game. And I still agree with this sentiment. And I think it's probably only going to get harder as time goes on, because I think player expectations will keep rising. What do we do now? And then they go, now we play the game. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of good moments in that episode. And it's impressive just that they managed to work with Blizzard. There were custom animations and everything, and they had their own server, I guess, and yeah. Okay, so what's next here? Add a few perks or trade-offs if we can. The more we have, the better. I need more negative ones. Yeah. Let's just try to come up with some negative ones. I had one of them written down. Remove the quick move menu. I don't think that's very interesting though. So I want to come up with other ones that we can have maybe. So this is already done. Any mega upgrades we had thought of? Successfully wrote a handful of lines of C# the other day. Congrats. What are you working on that uses C#? Plus rate of something, location, loot. Force now has 2 more bats. Actually, this could be kind of interesting. Like each location has 1 more enemy. I kind of like that idea. Each location has 1 more enemy, if possible. Actually, I don't like that idea for that reason. It wouldn't always be possible. I think, and we already have increased their power in life, and it's easier to code it as that. Casting stuff is weird. Why can't I do as blah or blah? And why does everything have to have a type before I even know what the thing is? That's crazy. So the the type part, what language are you coming from that part is unusual? And the casting thing, I think if you look up like C# cast versus as, one of them is to actually use the variable afterward. Python, okay. Yeah. For what it's worth, I think the types catch a whole set of bugs that you don't need to worry about at runtime. Hey, Maisie. Anyway, I wouldn't worry about this too much. I mostly use as inside of if statements. Although searching for that is very difficult. I need a, well, I'm not going to do it, but I need a regex with parentheses and stuff. I just have to toggle my settings for that. But yeah, overall, I like the language. And I like static typing. And in Python, if I were to use it, I would probably add type annotations, which I know Python supports. And I don't know how tedious they are to use. Just use the types as a suggestion and they help you. Here feels very forced and handholdy. Well, one way you can make it a little easier for yourself is use var a lot more. So you could say something like var x equals 5, and it knows that it's an int. And then like var name equals Adam, and it knows that it's a string. And that way, at least you're not typing out explicitly what the type is, but it still has the explicit type. So it'll know in this case, this is, in fact, even when I hover over this, it says it's a string. And it should say that this is an integer. Why is that not working? Maybe you can't hover over when it's just a single. Yeah, there we go. It knows it's an integer. Does it know if those types are from a namespace or SDK? So an entity, for example, it needs to be able to figure it out without any ambiguity. So for example, let's say you have a function, you have public entity foo, and it returns a new entity. And then you say something like var Adam equals foo. It will know that this is an entity because it knows that foo can only return entities. So yeah, it would know that stuff. But you can't do something like public var foo and be like, hey, what should this thing return, and have it figure it out from what the return value is here. That's not a thing. Nor would you probably want that. Do you code your game every day? I mean, I just stream everything. You can kind of see what's going on every day. Like, yeah, there's coding happening today. It's generally coding most of the time. Sometimes it's game design. Sometimes it's play testing. Yeah, most of the time though, it is coding. Can't be expected to know all this stuff. Yeah, well, like I said, var is a pretty good way of at least kind of massaging your entrance from Python. It'll make it a little bit easier. I don't use var, but even if you do use var, you could always have it change to the full type afterward. So like, let's say here, for example, I said var AC. I could click this. Well, stuck on loading. Maybe this will never work. Hang on a second. Let me reload the page. Oh, you have been using it. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say I can click this and give it a sec. This is why I don't like reloading VS Code because it takes forever sometimes. There we go. And we can say use explicit type. So it can fill in what the type is. And that way it's exactly like we had used var, but now it's clear from a text perspective. All right, so negative perks. I really just like using var and C#. I don't like keeping it, but I don't mind typing it out like I just did there and then having you replace it with what the real type is. But yeah, we don't keep them in our code base. Could never dedicate myself to coding a game, spending every day coding, game design, playtesting. A lot of work. It is a lot of work, but I think a lot of projects are a lot of work. I think really any coded project, you have the same general like workflow of come up with what you need. So there's some amount of like product design. That's true of pretty much every business. Then there's some amount of code design, UI and UX. And then there's the actual doing that stuff. Now go develop it all. And then there's testing it, releasing it, marketing it. And this is true of a lot of products. Games, of course, fit into this, but if you're making a website, you still need to come up with what's the site going to do? How's the code going to look? What's our infrastructure? What's the site going to look like? We have to develop it. We need to make sure it's working. Yeah. So never say never. You never know. You might be able to. I understand the irony of saying you'll never know. We could have something like treasure chests take 1 minute longer to open. I don't think this is interesting because a lot of people just ignore treasure chests altogether. I want some more core game thing that you do. And I don't know what it would be exactly. But like every time an item is sold, damage one of your adventurers in battle. This is kind of interesting. This is one of those things that's really hard to balance though. Like how do you do this in such a way that it's always relevant? You'd probably have to make it be a percentage. Probably need to have this be a percentage of their life. This would actually make you prioritize getting tanks and healers. Well, this might actually. There aren't going to be natural disasters, no. Working on an SDK for a physical security company that we can figure things in. I think one of the main problems having the stars is really bad documentation. Yeah, that's where AI can help out quite a lot, I think. It's one thing to ask AI to code. It's another thing to be like, here's the code base. Just start answering questions for me. Because it doesn't necessarily need to get those perfect for you to be able to go verify it for yourself. But it could do a good job from the get-go. So yeah, I would suggest trying out AI for that. We could just have a trade-off like lifesteal stops working or healing stops working or adventures take longer to regenerate. Give the tool your code base, it can help you understand. Those already do exist. Usually, actually, most editors have a built-in now like AI chat. And you could probably say something like, let's make a new chat here and just see if this even works. So we'll say ask. How does town perk choice generator work? Now, I don't know if this will be interesting. I only gave it this one file, but let's just see what it says anyway. Static class that generates a set of perk choices for a given town in challenge mode. Here's how it works. Generate 3 random eligible perks. Return a list of perks the town is eligible to select. Perk is eligible if the player hasn't maxed out its level and specific. Yeah, this is actually pretty decent. And it's even got links directly to the code that it's talking about. So you can click these things and look through the code. Now, again, this was one file, and it's not that hard for it to figure this stuff out, I guess, but still, like maybe you didn't know that stuff. What about just a general question for the entire code base? Yeah, you should be able to do that. It all depends. So you can add context and you can say you want to give it like a whole folder or something. But yeah, you could probably try asking it like, what does this code do? What is this 1x and everything here? What does this mean? Is this how many of like some token limit you're using when you do this? Huh. Oh, it's private. Yeah. All right. I wonder if we should just play through a version and try to figure out what would we come up with if they were negative. I want something that's like, I want all the negatives to be something that you don't need a specific system for it to be negative for you. Like they're just negative. Like this, town perk cost goes up. This one is specific to a system. If you don't have the farm, this one is meaningless. Didn't I have something that said occasionally drop fewer items? Did I code that? Am I hallucinating that? Oh, that was a specialization that did that. All specialization data. Where is it? Less loot. Yeah, there it is. You get slightly less loot from battles. This could be interesting. We need to make it stack with the existing one. The chance to miss out on one item right now is a 33% chance. So we could say like you have a 50% chance to miss out on one item. Even a 100% chance. As long as I spend on bugs or pen test reports, maybe a few hours straight, don't have focus to grind every day on building a whole game. But what you're saying about bugs or a pen test report, that's presumably part of a larger product, right? Or a business, I guess. I guess what I'm trying to say is they're not that different. What you might be doing now versus coding. Although, if you don't find it fun, you don't find it fun. I'm not trying to convince you that it's fun. I'm just trying to say that maybe it's not as different as you think it is. So if you think about it like pen test reports, I don't know what kind of business you're in exactly, but maybe you have a client and maybe they come to you and they say like, can you test this for vulnerabilities? Like all of this is part of a business, and this is one component of that business. You're probably also the business is probably also offering security advice or maybe like contracted out security work, sort of in the same sense that a game has some amount of like testing but then some amount of development as well. Because you certainly could just be a like game UI programmer. That could be your only role, and you don't need to focus on the rest of the game because you have a team of people doing it. I don't have great ideas here, do I? I wonder if we should take the things that were in specializations. Maybe we offer them to you if you weren't in that specialization. Yeah, I think that could be kind of interesting. And we already have them coded. We might as well reuse them. I think we should take some of the negatives that we coded for specializations. Since they're already interesting enough to be in the specializations. They're already coded. Well, mostly. Well, they're coded as constraints, not abilities. Not this endless month-long cycle, like building a whole gamer app. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, pen test stands alone and can be done pretty quickly. I guess what I was trying to get at is there are tasks that you finish in a game that you don't tend to come back to. Like if you make the title screen for a game, you might improve the graphics, but like having a new game, having a settings button, having a quick game thing, like those are probably going to be there in every iteration of the game you have. So you could feel like, oh, I got that done in a few hours and now I can move on. Probably handle some dev work. Hey, TJ. Love writing spreadsheets, formulas, VBA, adding features, fixing errors and bugs. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is a nice way to get into development too, either through some other technical tooling that you needed to modify, modding a game or something like that, or just kind of tinkering around with something that you think might be fun. So if we were to use these constraints, I guess we should change the entire system to be abilities, but then they can't be static, and they need an instance of the town. Like this doesn't have the town, and will miss out on loot is just a thing that's, oh, it does have the town there. We would probably need to change them from constraints. Why is that word so hard to type? Into abilities, which means we would need access to the town anywhere that we access the constraints. It's true that developing is more than just working with an Excel spreadsheet, but there's a lot of stuff that's similar. I think the most important part that's similar is it's just pure logic. And I think that's probably one of the biggest gaps from people who haven't programmed before, is having to think like how a computer thinks to some extent in order to understand how your code is being interpreted. And spreadsheets are that. It's like this cell is computed from looking up in this sheet what that value is, and then applying some formula to it, and then formatting it in a certain way. And it's like that's it's very similar to how you have to think when you're coding something. And you're calling functions. There are return values to those functions. There's some amount of like type manipulation that you might need to do. I think there's more in common with coding than you might give it credit for. Okay, I should probably take a break. Yeah, I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. All right, hello again. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Oogly. And hey, Devil Dog. Close the game. Close the game. There it goes. Nice. What did it... it doesn't matter. I was going to see what it heard me saying originally. Yeah, so the constraints, I think it could be interesting to do this. More enemy damage. We already kind of have coded as an ability too. How does that work exactly? It's just 50% more damage? Wow. Seeds cost more. Cannot build the pond. Increased town building and adventurer costs. Adventurers regenerate slower. Increase adventure costs further. Item sales worth less. Get new customers less frequently. I mean, some of these translate. Not all of them do, though. Yeah. Yeah. That's fun. Make that a 24/7 stream. I think the fun would die down after, well, pretty quickly. A while ago, I think Matt made like a 24/7 Animal Royale thing, which is another game that I had made. And I really like this idea. It was a battle royale in Minecraft that you played through Twitch chat. But even once I started doing this on lunch breaks, people just kind of stopped participating pretty quickly. So yeah, I think it's the kind of thing that it's fun because it's a novelty. And if you just got access to that game 24/7, you'd be like, everything's the same. Like, I want different features. It'd be like playing Pong for the rest of your life. It's probably fun for a lot of people to play for a couple minutes. It's ice cream. Ice cream's always good. Ice cream is everyone's best friend. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to play test. Yeah, I'm going to play test. You can't only eat it, though. Ask me how I know. Well, but that's for other reasons, right? The ice cream, whenever you're eating it, is still probably enjoyable. It's just that it has health effects. But imagine if ice cream, after like 2 or 3 times, you're like, okay, well, now I'm done. I don't want any more of it. You know what else we could do today is I could work on the next music track. Maybe I'll do that this afternoon. Yeah, maybe. I would need to... What would I need to do? I can't set up a piano easily in here, but I could get my synth. And how would I listen to the music? I guess headphones? Maybe I don't even need that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that this afternoon. Anyway, what are we testing here? What did I even just do? Let's publish this branch. This is all I've done. Oh, man. Okay, fine. All right, so you got the quick move menu by default. What does this do? Items sell for less. New customers appear less often. You don't get upgrades to that. Yeah, okay, so I think this is probably a much easier mode now. And I kind of want to try that, but I also kind of want to try farming. What does farming do? Enemies do more damage. Seeds cost more, and you can't build the pond. Yeah. You love the music? Well, I'm glad. Yeah, maybe I'll do that this afternoon. I might work on the other track. Farming is easy peasy. Okay, then let's pick garbage and joy. Well, it's also probably easy peasy. But yeah, let's kick this run off. Send you into battle. Hire another adventurer. I'll try the Spirit Caller. I've never been impressed by the Spirit Caller, and I think stats impact them kind of in a worse way. All right, so the whole goal is get as much loot as possible and sell it. And now we have, I guess it was always at 200%, yeah. So we just put these in here. Just forget about anything else. We're going to get to another adventurer so we get even more loot. Easy. I mean, I could have restarted. I think you can probably win even without that. All right, hire another adventurer. Let's get the golem. I played with the warrior last time. I'll try the golem this time. All right, next up, I want to get a building. I want something that'll upgrade the adventurers. I kind of want it to be the treasure room, actually. I don't even know if you can get that first. Yeah, and we probably should put some of these into the shops. Oh, I don't even need to do this. I could do it that way. Yeah. Yeah, and then these over here. Oh, that person wants a cloak. All right, let's get our first building. I want the treasure room. I'm going to actually go for the enchanters then first. And we're going to do this. So they want a cloak. Let's put the cloaks in there. Sell that. Get rid of that. Put that over there. Okay, now we're maybe getting too much loot. We're actually not yet. Yeah. All right, another building. Treasure room. Let's go for it. I need some money for this. And I need these to start getting ground up. Cute ghost cat, yeah. Yeah, it's playtest time. I want to get one more... No, actually, do I want one more building? I don't. All right. Let's get some town perks. Oh, and 8 keys. Definitely. And more treasure stands, yeah. I haven't actually started getting treasure yet. All right, nice. This is... It's going pretty well so far. This run started out at like maximum speed. All of these are pretty good. I'm actually gonna go with flimsy fish because if I don't get that, then I think the fishing pond is pretty hard to manage. Yeah, just getting a ton of loot is pretty nice. All right, let's get a treasure chest. What does it have? Golem. Wow, nice. Okay, that's 3 levels up for the golem. All right, we need some armor items now. I guess let's make customers move a little faster. This will get upgraded eventually too. All right, now let's send them into the next location. I'll wait for those other battles to finish. Then I'll just cut them off. Yep, and come on, golem. Throw your last rock. There. Nice. Okay, put those away. We have more weapons than we need. We'll put those in the grinder. Critical eat. Nice. I'll get another treasure chest. And what does that one have in it? Oh, it's got the spirit collar thing. That'll level up the spirit collar a couple times. I need more keys. And I could use the fishing pond, I guess. Yeah. And another adventurer. Okay, so let's go for a building and an adventurer. That's what I'm gonna do first. I'll grind those things up. I still haven't gotten a key out of that. Okay, let's take that too. Yes, a key. Nice. Ding. All right, I need money. Where is the money? Probably because our adventures are terrible because I haven't upgraded them. Because I need this. I'll get another adventurer first then. Are they even winning? Oh my god, they're doing very, very poorly. Oh, wait, I think... Are enemies stronger in this mode? I don't know, but they're gonna die. Wow, that's sad. Sad and embarrassing. They should be ashamed of themselves. Alright, well, let's just sell this stuff manually then. Yeah, we almost have enough. We need one item. No matter what that item is, we will get an adventurer. Yeah, if they're stronger, then that's... I wasn't expecting that. Let's get the mage. Okay, now they should be able to take on the volcano. Did I accidentally click the forest? I think I might have. Stupid mage. Speed up. Yeah, I did. Okay. There. Okay, win. Win, 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 win. And let's get extra loot. Then I'll get another building. Okay, well, they're definitely winning. Which is good. There we go. And they take 15 seconds? Okay. Yeah, I want to power them up. We got to get that. I think getting the treasure room early is not a great idea. Are they still going to have extra loot? A chance, at least. Yeah. Let's sell that, and that can go in here. That can go up there. Okay, we got another building. Weirdly enough, I'm actually gonna get the warehouse first. I want to try my silly strategy here. Yeah. All right, let's sell that. I'm gonna start grinding up some weapons and slowly selling these things off. I want to get maybe one more adventurer. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's get the witch doctor. And let's send them into the forest. I wonder if they can solo it. They should be able to. Oh, they want a dagger. We've got just the thing. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so now something like the farm would probably help. I think we get our first trade-off perk. No, not yet. Oh, boy. All right, let's get that. This will give us the upgrade. All right, let's sell those things. Make sure we're still using that. Get our nice, what is this? The golem upgrades. That's like +6 power and +30 life. That's going to help. I don't really need blue potions. We'll get rid of that. Did we get a key? No. All right, let's buy some more treasure chests. Get a town perk. Okay, again, we're taking a picture, and I'm pausing this. This should pause the game automatically. So allow for more adventurers, but get less crop value. Lower enemy power, but get less income. I think I'm going to go with this. But I think this is also pretty good. This is the better choice. Let me make that clear. This is better, but I want to try this one. I want to hamper my own income. Yeah, let's go for that. All right, so enemies are now weaker, and I get less money. Yeah. Did we get a key? We did get a key. Bing. Okay. Nice. Our customers are doing nothing. Did we get another key? Nice. Put that in there. Get rid of these things. All right, so our spirit collar got a little bit better now too. I'm going to hold off on that until we get some more town perks. Special keys, that's very good. And, oh, selective loot. Okay. So let's go all in on the golem. Actually, I should probably go all in on a character I haven't already gone all in on. So I guess the rogue. But we need money for that. We don't have any way to do that. Okay, let's do that. Not getting a key yet. Yeah, we're going in on the rogue. Special keys again. Oh my goodness. The run. All right, now let's start getting this quest. Yeah. We can sell some of those. Did we get a key? We did. All right, so increase the drop quantity of items. Let's go with this. And then one more of those would be pretty nice. Really like the radial wheel. That's been in for a little while, but it's now default in challenge mode. So you get it right from the get-go. They're slowly going and buying stuff. I think I need to build a sludge consuming building. Yeah, because otherwise this is gonna be bad. Okay, we got 3 of each item here. Golem, Witch Doctor. Yeah, this is upgrades for a lot of our characters. Okay. Dedicated monitor. Nice. Oh, whoops. I should have used that. I did not. Okay, that's fine. All right, I want to get... Yo, there. Exactly. Increased appetite. I think that alone will, like, win us the game. And if we just aggressively re-roll to try to get that, it might actually be the best strategy. All right, we got another key. What should I put this in? None of those help me. And that doesn't help me. So let's just buy another chest. Oh, yes. Okay, good. All right, now we need the other drop modifier one. Actually, there's very little to do here. We don't even need workers. All right, I'm going to get another building. Let's get the fishing pond. I already have a perk for that. Yeah, and then put all of these into there. And yeah, now we're maxed out. Okay. So I guess... Wait, can I get the other key? I got a key that I don't actually want. They're probably going to go take that, aren't they? All right, I'll send the witch doctor into... Whoops. I'll send them... Actually, I'll hire another adventurer and then send them both in. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, I have a couple of keys. I guess we can use this. I was hoping for a rare key. We didn't get one. I need one more adventurer. There we go. Let's get the archer. Let's send them both into the fishing pond. And then, once they start fishing, gotta wait for them to make it over there. Then I can start pumping all the potions into there too. All right, let's do that. Oh, we're getting battle perks now. Finally. Oh my god. All right, nice. Yeah, wow. Battle perks are very important, huh? All right. Yeah, this run is off the ground. That is nice. In fact, we could maybe send them to the higher location now. Yeah, they're winning in 7 seconds. All right, I have no treasure chest anymore, but we're going to hold off on that for a bit. Try to get... Actually, more treasure stands is decent, but I guess that's good. They're done in the fishing pond. We'll leave them there for a little bit longer. Yeah, let's go for that. This is pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Oh wait, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, well, that was my bad. Yeah, let's get more items. Let's also get some more treasure chests. I'll go for the archer this time. I think splitting these up a little bit is actually a good idea. Maybe let's get a spirit caller one too, which I can't afford. Okay, this is looking good. I would like... Okay, both of those are good. Yeah, they're clearing this out really fast. Oh, because they're flimsy fish. That's right. Okay, so let's send you over to the forest. And let's send you to the fishing pond. Okay. Oh, that's right. The slime can automatically eat from the warehouse now, right? Is that a perk? Did I add that? How is it doing that? Whoa. That's a bug, right? I think that's a bug. Because I wasn't even offered that. Yeah. Hang on. Where does it even take place? Ability ID? Auto eats from warehouse. Yeah, here it is. What is going on right now? Get ability or default? The ability's null return. What? Save the game. Let me see. Abilities. Here are our abilities. What's the number of this one? 168. Do we have 168? No. What's going on? Maybe that didn't actually happen? Maybe I thought it happened? I thought it ate right from the warehouse. Is it going to? Let's see. Yes, it definitely is. Okay, yeah, that's a bug. The slime is auto-eating from the warehouse, even though I didn't get that ability. How is that happening, though? Slime eats from warehouses right there. If the ability is null, then return. Otherwise, try to fetch something. We don't have the ability. The save data doesn't have it. What? I guess we can just put a breakpoint there. Ability. Oh, default means to make the ability. Oh, whoops. Okay, I see what the problem is. We need to check for its level being 0. All right. Get ability or default isn't what we want. It returns an ability no matter what. Oh, that's why the thing didn't complain at me. Okay, all right, I understand now. All right, so then this run is, I'm cheating a little bit. Yeah. In fact, I'm cheating a lot, I guess. Okay, well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I can't fix it now. Let's go stock one of those up there. Yeah. Well, whatever. We don't need any of this stuff. Let's re-roll. Oh, okay. And 8 keys will do. Swoop shoes is pretty good. Alright, so I want to put all these up here. Yeah, we're getting some keys. I want to buff the archer a little bit more. Which is the best one of these? Drop multiplier is what I need, but this is drop quantity. This will be the best choice then. Yeah. Alright, we get another worker. We put these things in here. Get a bunch of fish. We don't need to sell those things. Wow, that perk is actually super overpowered though. Right, battle perk. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, we still haven't gotten a key. Let's take... Still haven't gotten a key. Yeah, they'll just automatically eat constantly. I would like a key, please. Should probably something like reduce the cost of keys thing, huh? Town perk. Yeah, let's take that. Let's go all in on the fishing pond. They're certainly killing the fish fast enough. Alright, we finally got a key. This has some archer stuff in it. I guess let's get that one too. Alright. We can get a battle perk. We could probably send them into the later location now too. Yeah, I don't want these things to get eaten. I want them to go in there. I want more warehouse storage. Got a major upgrade? When will the menu at the top left get upgrade? I don't know. Oh man, the spirit caller just does not benefit from these things too much. I'll go for it, but yeah, I don't like it. Alright, should we even build anything else? What do I not have? I got garbage slime, enchanter, fishing pond, treasure room. So I'm missing the pond. And no, I got the warehouse. Yeah, so I'm missing the pond. Or the farm. Sorry, the farm. I don't think it's worth getting the farm, so let's not spend the money on that. We'll just go a farmless run. Oh, okay. Oh no, I just passed up actually the best perk probably in the game. Oh, that was a mistake. Alright, well, whatever. I passed it up. Yeah. I think we're gonna win this run. Alright, so drop multiplier. If I get this, it'll increase the drop multiplier, which will give me another 3 items. I think we should just use it on a new chest. But I should probably get the mushroom character. Ooh, these are not good. I don't have any of these. Alright, let's hire another adventurer then with the next money that I get. I wonder if the fishing pond is just too good. It might be. We still can't afford this. They're getting a couple of keys. That's good. I want an adventurer. There we go. Okay, I'll take it. So we'll just ignore this battle perk. That's pretty nice too. Although the archer doesn't really need it. Let's send them to a higher location now. And then ditch all these. Oh, they actually want that bow. Fine, go take it. Are they able to win? It looks like they are. Looks like they're very powerful. Okay. Alright, now let's just go all in on the rogue. Might as well. How much do these even cost? 52? What would that give me? I need drop quantity. I don't have a drop quantity one. Which means I need another key. They're both drop multipliers. Where's the quantity? And whatever happened to that bow? Weapons, please. Let's just ditch all these. Sure, I'll go with that. Okay, we got a lot of items. That gave us the thing I want. Good. So this goes in here for drop quantity, so I get 5 more cloaks. Yeah. And then let's put these over here. That person's holding a key and has no reason to be holding it. Let's get a bunch of treasure chests. Put that up there. Which can benefit the most from drop multiplier? This one. Ooh, this one big time. 9 cloaks up to 12 cloaks. All right. Yeah. Now let's put these over here. So is the row going bonkers over there? Yeah, I think so. I bet they can beat the next area now. Let's try it out. All right, let's get a bunch of fish while we're at it. Is that already in the... Yeah, we have it. Alright, so I guess get rid of that. What do I even need at this point? They're winning. Like, big time winning. I wonder if they can beat the Inferno. Might as well try it. Can I get a rogue upgrade? No. Town perk. Sure, I'll take that. I'll take this one. Definitely that. Alright, how are they doing? The rogue's going crazy. But I don't think they're going to win. I don't think the rogue's doing that much damage. But we can make them do that much damage by upgrading. They died. Okay, let's send them back. I think they can win pretty soon, but they just can't win yet. Let's go with that. Although I can't afford the treasure chests now. That's the problem. Yeah. If I get... Oh, there it is. Okay. And then I could really use the cleric because they got healing received. You plan on releasing this on other platforms than PC? If you mean like Mac and Linux, yes. But if you mean consoles or mobile, no, not at first at least. All right, there we go. Sell those things. Town perk. Yeah, let's go with the expanded warehouse. I might as well. I'm not even sure that's a good idea. What I should do now is get I should get treasure. And we're going all in on the rogue, so let's just keep going all in on the rogue. Alright, what do we need? Quantity. Let's go for this. And then open that chest immediately. Yeah, we have no real reason. I guess chests cost too much at some point. We should probably put a maximum price on chests. How much am I up to? 70? Yeah. Chests should cap their costs at something. Maybe 50 gold. At that point, you're opening them so fast that you don't need more treasure stands. Controller support might make it in, yeah. I don't know when. Okay, there. That's it. I think we can now beat the next location. I don't even know if we have to. And then the only thing we need to fish for is perks for the garbage time hunger amount. Are they beating that? Might as well sell those things. We don't have gloves. Are they winning? Yeah. This is kind of what happens whenever you max out one adventurer. They end up just hardly even being able to die. You can play on Steam Deck. It's not a great experience, but you can do it. Alright, so they can win. That's good to know. And they're going to win. And I should probably double loot. Come on. Come on, you can do it. We need them to do even more damage. Alright, we won. It took 50 seconds. We got a crazy amount of loot. Like, crazy amount. I guess let's dump all these things in there. Because they're otherwise just going to disappear. And then make as many of these stick around for as long as we can. And then try to get the warehouse storage. No, I don't want that. Let's go with cloning for now. Oh, man. All right, that one, I guess. That one. Battle perk. Yeah, whatever. Just try to keep them alive for a little bit longer. The archer can't even beat the fish fast enough. Sure, let's go with that. That's pretty good. Do we need any? Oh my god. Okay, might as well level this up. We don't even have the cleric. They're winning in 40 seconds now. We can probably make that even faster. Alright, yeah. Wow. I bet if I just restart this battle, they will be able to fight this. And kill these faster. Because they haven't gotten any of their skill benefits. Oh, there's increased appetite. Okay, that's what'll make me win this game. Yeah, we have 10 minutes left. I think it's going to be a win. I want them to finish this. Let's turn this off. Yeah, we can also turn this off. They're just kind of clogging everything. Yeah, let's get rid of all of these. Okay, that's good enough. Just go restart the battle. Actually, no. Wait. Put the witch doctor in too. Put everything in. Because they have no other purpose other than to fish at this point. So now we can dump all of that in there. And like max out fishing to try to get more rogue perks. What was the cheat? The cheat is that the slime is eating from the warehouse when it's at max hunger. And it shouldn't be doing that. None of these matter. I think this is going to be a win no matter what. Yeah, we can pick that. Let's pick that one. Oh, there's a key. Alright, we might as well get some more rogue upgrades, I guess. An idea that I have, a trade-off where you only get treasure for adventurers you've hired. That would be kind of interesting. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, let's go on fish. Could use a bigger warehouse. Let's re-roll. I might as well at this point. Yeah, let's get that. Max customers, sure. Battle perk. Mage, we'll take it. Shouldn't I have garbage time? I do. Okay. I might as well just dump my money into here. Or maybe over here. Do I need anything from this? Reroll. Customer speed's not bad. Glowy fish is pretty good. Although I should probably just be selling potions at this point, right? I don't know. Let's dump it into the pond. Do we have any keys? We don't. Yeah, let's dump one of those in there then. Ooh, key of quantity. Yeah, that would benefit from that. Yeah, sure. Let's put it in here. Okay, I'll buy a few more treasure chests. Yeah, let's get one more round of these. And then I'll get rid of all my weapons that I get from this next round. And we'll put them all in a treasure chest. That's decent. Oh, we can afford another one. That's pretty good. Okay, so dump all these in here. Get all the keys I can get. And then add in... I'm just gonna not even look at these. I'm gonna put them there, 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 and there. And get all of the loot. Oh, yeah. Okay. How fast are they beating the volcano now? Probably pretty fast. We don't need any of this. Oh, that's good. Alright, so just turn off the fishing ponds now. We have no need for that. Although we're 5 sludge away. Oh, wait, I turned it on. Whoops. Okay, well, that worked out perfectly because I need one more fish. Got it. Okay. And what's our final perk? It is trash. That's fine. Although the spirit collar might not actually be bad now. They're getting plus 10 power. Should probably rebalance the parties a bit. Yeah, like the archer should go into this battle. Let's put him in. It'll make him win faster. Oh my god, I have so much money. I'm like 100% winning this. I do think the fishing pond is probably overpowered. Yeah, I don't need perks. Alright, so they're winning in 28 seconds. If I swap out this character and this, they'll probably win even faster than 28 seconds. Use normal mouse? No. I use basically a keyboard mouse. It's got 12 buttons on the side. Alright, we're about to win with like 6 minutes remaining. Yeah, I think the fishing pond is too powerful. And also, like I said, there was a tiny little cheat going on there. We should probably revert the change to fishing cost. Yeah, I think we have to do that. I also wonder if this is an issue, that you get one superpowered adventurer and then they just keep themselves alive. That probably shouldn't be possible. It's like lifesteal is either too powerful or it's just not it's not doing anything. And how much haste does the rogue have? 57%, and they actually got quicker strike as well. Like if I didn't have anyone else in this party at all, the rogue can't die. Yeah. They're pretty much always at full life. I wonder if we should tone down lifesteal a little bit so this isn't possible. It's fun to get super strong adventures. I agree, but I think the party should matter to some extent. Like, you shouldn't be able to just solo the final location and then... Basically, what I'm thinking is this. What if we go into the lifesteal battle perk, and instead of giving 3 to 6%, we give like 3 to 5% even? I kind of want to try that at least. Because what's their DPS here? 212. Oh, man. Also, if we turn this back on for a second here, and we go, I guess we need some potions. No, you know what? I'll just cheat this. I want to see what happens if we get the remaining level of quick strike. So I'm going to purposely avoid rogue traits until we get the one that gives quick strike, which might take a very long time to get to. Yeah, never mind. This is probably a waste of time. No. Okay, yeah, this is a waste of time. Okay. Could you reduce the percent based on power level? I mean, at that point, it just wouldn't be a percentage, right? We would just say something like steal 1 life every hit. But then it's based on how fast the character's attacking, so like the rogue would be nuts. I think we just need to tone it down a little bit. Like, well, how much does the rogue have right now? 20%? Yeah. It's not possible for me to tell how they got 20%. Was it like 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, for example? Or wait, no, hang on. It used to be up at 6. So it could have been 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 2. In the future now, this would have been 5, 5, 5, 2. So you would have ended up with 17% lifesteal, which is probably still overpowered. Your warrior had like 40%? Yeah, probably. We got a lot of warrior upgrades that run. Just make it steal less life off, or life less often. Actually, you know what I realized? If we just make the fishing pond worse, this will naturally get worse too. So, all right, let's go make some of these changes. One of them was just a bug, which is this. This just needs to be get ability, right? And get ability can return null, yeah. So get ability. There, so that fixes that bug. So fix bug with eating from the warehouse. The garbage slime would always do this, whether or not you had chosen the trade-off perk. this made runs significantly easier because the slime would always offer more than the normal sale price of an item without you needing to pay attention to, without you needing to micromanage their hunger. Was it the 2 gold per fish that made the pond too strong, or the buff to sludge? It was the reduction in cost of eggs, I believe, that made it too strong. So I changed this. The cost of getting a fish used to be 25, and I set it to 20. Nerf the pond. Reverting the change. Reverting the buff we made earlier. So that fish now cost 25G again, up from 20G. I think it just let you get too many fish too quickly. Okay, so this is done. We need to look at where else we did get ability or default, because I might have made that mistake somewhere else. We do it in 34 places. Okay, well, let's search for them all. This is not necessarily smart here. Yeah, this is not necessarily smart. Get level of ability. Why do we do this? Hazmat perk conditions. Okay, that's fine. Town player abilities. Get ability or default. Does it get the description? That's fine. All right, we're almost done with this. I know there were a lot of results, but they aren't that hard to do. This one is wrong for sure. Okay, wait a second. I think fish were giving me 2 gold per thing in this as well. Although this has compute income here. We have a multiplier and we have it set to 1. No, wait, no, that's it. Yeah, I think this is broken. So if I go to the VOD, mute sites. What? Oh, because I have multiple things selected? I didn't realize. Mute site. All right, let's go back to wherever fishing was happening, which is probably much earlier on. All right, we just got to watch for when they kill any one fish. No, why did I have to open that? Close it, Adam, close it. Okay, there, yeah, it says plus 0 gold. That's kind of funny, plus 0 gold. So it means it's not broken. It just shouldn't be... Amount. Fish amount. And this is set to 0 by default. Okay, that's the problem. Yeah, this should have been get ability. Okay, so that was just a visual problem. So where was that? Oh, it's gone because I deleted it. Yeah. All right, what else? That's all fine. That's fine. That's a bit weird, but I'm going to leave that for now. Let's make it 0. That's fine. That's fine. Grant effect from town perk. Sure. Wait a second. Why is it get ability or default if we know for sure that you now have the ability? This is not possible. This should just be get ability, but this is not. What's happening here? Converting null literal or possible null value to non-null type. We know your ability has to exist. We just added it. Yeah. All right, so fix usage of get ability or default. In 2 cases, it should have been get ability. I like this part of the stream. Yeah, it's fun to try them out too. And as long as I'm taking some notes from them, then I think it's worthwhile. So we fixed those. Now we need this. Chests should cap their cost at something. I still think the treasure system is is weird. I think treasure system problems. Keys are either too easy to get or too hard to get. There's no point where they feel great. What if we did away with basic keys altogether? I don't know if that would help. Hey, Cacahuete. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's Peanut, maybe? Played your demo this weekend. Did you like it? All I can say is type faster. Well, if you want to join the playtest, you can. And you can try out challenge mode. Yeah, I don't know what to do about this stuff. All right, idea, trade-off where you only get treasure for adventurers you've hired. Man, I don't know what to do with the treasure system. I guess I need to think of what role I wanted to fill. I think it was like, you will get a buff, but it's delayed. Lowering the delay as time goes on becomes very easy. Taking the chance for sure. Okay, yeah. Sounds good. 100% of the demo. Okay. Yeah, so just to be clear, because I think it's probably worth stating this, even though it's in that document. I really, really want people to play this new mode that I've added to the game, challenge mode. And I want to know, like, anything you're willing to share. So any details, like what modes did you try? What did you like? What was fun? What do you think could be improved? So this is the main thing to test out. You pick a specialization. Not all of them have been like fully coded yet. So some will actually literally say, yeah, like a constraint will be here, but I haven't finished this. So you can still play this. It just won't be harder than the other modes. Yeah, but anyway, so you pick one of these things, and like if you do this run and you think it's not fun, you could say, okay, I played adventuring, very hard. I lost. I don't think it was fun. Here's why it wasn't fun. Like, all of the feedback you can give would be good. But the main thing that we care about is just, is the mode overall fun? Are you enjoying it? And I've had fun playing them. I think the game works pretty well, actually. So yeah, there's a lot of little things we got to do to improve it. Let's see what else. I think the fishing pond is too powerful, so we did that. Trade-off, we're gonna get this. Quick suggestion. Yeah, by the way, please do try to consolidate your messages if you can. But I am happy to hear your suggestion. Played adventuring very hard and won just now. What's your favorite specialization so far? Because I like a lot of them. I think it's hard to even pick a favorite. Does Chaos Mode have anything coded yet? No, not yet. Yeah, I like the different specializations. I think it is hard to pick a best one. Enchanting isn't super interesting, but it's still fun. Yeah. I think they're all interesting to me, at least. Okay, well, what time is it? It's 11:24. Maybe we can get done with this stuff now. And then I could take my lunch break and then we can do music in the afternoon. Make a character for fishing, like a legendary fisher joke character, like Nat Pagel. So, in my mind, that character is already there and it's the archer. It's kind of a meme when I watch people play and they put the archer on fishing duty. The archer is actually really, really good at it because they have an ability that is, as you attack, you attack faster and faster. But when you get hit, it gets reset. But fish don't hit you, so it's always at maximum. And combined with this ability, which most people don't get because the demo doesn't, this one, when you're at the maximum bonus, you do even more damage. So if I put this character in the fishing pond now, which I need to get the fishing pond first. All right, so we put the archer in there. And we give them a bunch of fish to attack. So they're doing 6 damage right now, 15 occasionally. But they're going to eventually attack at the maximum speed and they're going to glow red. And now they're doing 8 and 23. And like, this isn't too crazy. They're level 1. I just hacked in some skills for them. But if you combine this with like forked arrows, triple split, and now we send them back into the battle. So now they'll occasionally hit 4 fish at a time. And then when they're attacking super fast and they're hitting 4 fish at a time, it's just pretty crazy. So anyway, that's as close as we'll get to a legendary fisher character. I really want to win on Chaos very hard. Well, eventually, remember, Chaos mode isn't going to let you even pick the perks. It'd be pure Chaos. I think most of the difference comes from the constraints in very hard mode. I like the interest aspect of not expanding the shops. There's definitely a one-time thing to beat the mode because it's so micromanaging heavy. So it's less micromanaging with the new increased hunger perk. In fact, maybe it's too easy. And I gotta probably tweak that a little bit more. We gotta think of mode balancing at some point. When you're fighting the dragon for the 10th time, you need serious DPS. Yeah, although fighting the dragon for the 10th time isn't something that's gonna be in the final game, probably. It's like, you'll fight the dragon maybe a couple times, and if you want to max out the game. Anyway, we'll see how that all works. Hey, Flare. Mage is also good fisher. What other skills help them fish here? Oh, this one. Oh my god, how'd I forget? Okay, that's how they can go super fast. Yeah, and we can give them this too. And you know, let's just give them all the skills. There. All right, now we'll go back into battle. And now it should be like actual machine gunning out arrows. Once they get to maximum. There we go. Yeah. And this is just one character chipping away at a bunch of fish. We should probably even lower the life of the archer further because of how much damage they do. My goodness. Beat the dragon 100 times? Yeah, probably. And it is possible right now. There's a broken build, which I gotta fix, which can let you beat any boss any number of times, pretty much. All right, fishing simulator here. All right, so merge my branch, make some other changes. Yeah, let's go do that. Sync and merge. Improve challenge mode even further. All right, so what do we do? Mostly just balancing things. Yeah, changed balancing and fixed a bug. It's really just one bug. I'll just say some bugs, because this kind of was a bug here too. All right, so create pull request. Let's go merge this. Done. Now let's go back to main. Now let's go merge one of Kevin's PRs. I think I just want to merge this one for right now. Thought it makes sense to use the new panels for challenge mode. Use the new theme. Adjusted layout. So the info for the currently selected mode is always visible. Oh, because right now it says hover for details. I guess we got to delete the hover for details part. Reduce some of the margin and spacing. Localize challenge mode names and difficulties. I think this approach is something we can use for ability to display names. That's what I was mentioning here. Button titles and tooltips are also set up on the fly. I considered creating the buttons, but I wasn't sure if it made sense. Let me know what you think. Oh, this looks way better. I didn't realize that one changed too. Put that into chaos mode. Only being able to battle elites means you need to have a way of progressing though. And it's possible that you can't beat an elite at all. I wonder if this is a bit of a bug. How this tiles. Because I think this should have a little curly thing here and it doesn't. So I think this is actually off by a bit. Yeah, it looks like it's broken. I wonder if we can even fix that. Or if we'll need a new graphic. All right, 1143. Let's go get that. GHPR checkout 1143. Can we fix this? Paper theme? Paper, what's it called? Paper stack theme? Is this it? What is this? It doesn't have a texture set. That's weird. This does, though. I think this has the wrong margins. Like if I change this, if I just set this to one, whatever. Yeah, so see, we're changing how this thing looks. Is there a number that makes this look good? No. Nothing will make it look good. We'd have to get rid of all of the... We'd have to make it look like that, I guess. That's not bad, though, right? That's not bad. Yeah. So what was it set to originally? So it was originally 144, and 170 looks pretty good. So what number in between those two numbers would also look good here? So it can't be anything like that. And if we make this any bigger, then it cuts out those little fringy things. No, it doesn't. It makes them closer together, which probably actually looks, well, now it looks jagged. So I guess something in between these makes it look less jagged. But it has to minimally be 168. 168 is the minimum that gets rid of the random ink bits. I don't know. I'm just gonna write that down. So how's that look overall? It still kind of looks a little bit weird, but it's not bad. That's the most you have to know why. Well, that's where we'll write a comment for sure. So if we were to increase this, oh wait, no, there we go. Now it's just totally smooth. Well, well, well. I think that's what we want. So what's the first number where it turns smooth? Can we close this? We can just maximize this. Oh, but then I can't see this thing. All right, so there's that. There, 206. I think that looks amazing. Yeah. Okay, so 206 is where we get rid of the jagged edges. Do you have any tips for staying sane as a solo dev? Well, I'm not really a solo dev is number one, but it's involve other people in some way. So it doesn't have to be that you work with them, but I think you should at least consider something like body doubling. So like work while in a Discord call with someone who is also working. Go to a library and do some coding there, or a coffee shop or something like that. Or I guess stream could also work. This is independent of screen resolutions, yeah. Yeah, I think these are the ways that help. By the way, this is why I'm streaming, because I had the experience, my very first internship ever, I think it was, that I did. I was the only dev and the whole job was remote. And the result is I went nuts. It was just a bad setup. I didn't have other people to talk to. I couldn't learn from other developers, and it was an internship, and I really wanted to learn. I didn't go anywhere because it was a remote job. So yeah, that was just a bad time. And the biggest learning I had from that was don't do that again. My dev friends recommend things I can't say here to stay sane. I don't know what those things are exactly, but yeah, different things that work for different people. And I don't know. I think for me, it's at least have some company while I'm doing this. Otherwise, it does feel like you just kind of disappear for a couple of years, and then you pop up after a while and you're like, oh, here's a game. And if it's not appreciated, then you're like, why did I spend 2 years in a cave making this thing? Hey, Clonk. Being in a semi-public place is great. Other people potentially seeing the screen keeps me from procrastinating. And also just being around people, I think, is nice. I don't want to necessarily be talking to those people. Like if I go to the library, I'm silent. I have headphones in, but I know I'm not alone, and there's something to that. Anyway, how'd the front page day go for you, Clonk? I only watched for a little bit. I haven't been watching a lot of Twitch lately. I applied for the front page in September, though. I'll hopefully hear back soon. Hey, typical. Scary but fun. Was it the first time? Unless you're Team Cherry with a huge success under your belt, then you can go silent for 7 years. Yeah, but even then, I think it's hard to stay focused for that long, even if you know your game is going to be well received or have a ton of people playing it. Yeah. I don't ever want to do that again, the whole disappear into a cave and make a game. That's pretty much how the first versions of Botland started. And it just makes me wonder if I had been streaming in like 2010 when I started working on Botland, I probably would have made a bunch of different decisions. I would have learned things sooner. Maybe I could have like sped up 3 years of my career or something. Oh, I've been there a couple times. Yeah, always nerve wracking. I don't find it too nerve wracking because it feels like just a regular stream. Like most people aren't really watching the stream, they're just on the Twitch front page before they go somewhere else. And like the same people are in chat usually, like plus, 10 or 20% maybe. So it kind of feels the same as just a regular stream. You apply? Yeah, you apply. Yeah, it used to be a more nebulous process, but now it's just partners can fill out a form. And if you are selected, then you have a front page slot. And they have a bunch of stipulations about this, like a slot lasts for up to 8 hours. There's no guarantee you'll even be on it. There's no guarantee you'll be there for the whole 8 hours. It might be in like bits and pieces. And yeah, a bunch of other little things. Wait, Botland? Yeah. What's happening with Botland? Oh, I was just talking about the development of it. Nothing's happening with it. Although it is getting open source. Well, I have to follow up with Altman. I haven't heard from him in a while. Oh, I don't have problems with working on the game. It's just I keep getting in my own head and think the game is useless garbage, even when people play it and tell me they like it. I just convince myself they're wrong. And are they random people? Because if it's your friends or family telling you that it's good, may not mean anything. But if it's random people, like if you found people on Reddit or YouTube or something like that, and they tell you that it's good, then you can trust that they mean that it's good. They're not going to lie to you. Again, assuming they're truly random people. Like when I go, there were some people who made Skeleseller videos without me even asking them to. And I would go watch those videos, and if they're like, oh man, this game's pretty good, like they don't know I'm going to go watch their video. I didn't ask them. I didn't even reach out to them. So I now believe after enough having people play the regular mode that it's a good game. Challenge mode is a little different. I only have, friends of the stream playing challenge mode right now. So yeah, I think if you doubt your product, then validate the product more. And at some point, by the way, let's say you have 100 people play your game and 100 people love it. At that point, you just got to trust them. Like at some point, you're battling imposter syndrome, not the unknown of people responding to your game. So if you're still doubting it after this, like that's a mentality problem, not an information problem. And that's a little bit harder. I've got some advice on that. I've got my blog post on battling imposter syndrome. And maybe this is helpful, maybe not. I find that anything along these lines, some advice is going to resonate with some people and some won't. So maybe this advice resonates with you. If not, maybe someone else's blog post would. But what I did not write about in here is there's a book called Creativity by John Cleese. And the book is an incredibly fast read. It's like 20 pages or something maybe. And the audiobook is maybe an hour long. This book basically talked about his creative process, and part of it covered imposter syndrome. And he said, if I forgot which member of the Beatles, but one of the member of the Beatles felt imposter syndrome even after they'd gotten like worldwide fame. And he's like, if someone in that position can feel imposter syndrome, then none of us are immune to it. So at some point, you've got to convince yourself, like, I deserve to be here. This game is good. It's worth working on. So yeah. And like I said, it's phase 1 is figure out if people say it's good. And then phase 2 is internalize that. And that's pretty much it. And phase one might not ever pass, right? You might find out that no, my game actually is bad. A bunch of random people played it and they said, oh man, it's so confusing. I don't like this. The art style's weird. In which case you could address those things. But then it's like going to phase one repeatedly until you find out that it's good. Challenge mode, a way for the game to be extended further instead of only being idle light. It's a new game plus additional content. Yeah. Yeah, it was made entirely for replayability. And it does change the game a bit because the idle light aspect was like, hey, the game is laid back and fun. You can do stuff, but you don't have to. In challenge mode, you can't just sit there and win. You have to actually do stuff. Did you suffer imposter syndrome yourself, or did you write this in response to people asking? Yeah, I suffered it myself. I think this is one of those things where until you have enough perspective, it's hard to gauge your skills according to other or in relation to other people. And you don't even necessarily have to do that. It's like maybe in a corporate setting, if you're going for a promotion, you have to. Maybe if you're suffering from imposter syndrome, you have to. But in general, like you can just kind of have your head down and keep working. But I've been working very publicly for about a decade now, thanks to the stream. And it's easy to look at other streamers and be like, oh my God, how are they doing that? It's easy to look at other developers who post on something like Hacker News. And I respect a lot of other streamers who, I think Rhyme was a good example of someone who was working a full-time job and actually is back to doing this and then streams technical problem solving and like just barrels through it all somehow. Rhyme was very impressive on that front. And I think Kip Boga is really impressive from just the sheer, like, Kip Boga is an entrepreneur. He's just an entrepreneur. He's very good at what he does. And he's a workaholic in addition to that. And it's a good combination thing. So like I look at some other streamers and I'm like, man, they really know what they're doing. And I think, why can't I do that stuff? And what I've come to the conclusion of is that my like life balance is very different from both of these people. And as a result, I end up with the ability to do probably some things a little better and the ability to do other things a little bit worse. And like, that's my whatever lot in life or my mix of things that I can do. So as an example, today is an easy day. And then I said, oh, it's kind of a hangout stream. We're going to be talking more. I'm going to be doing lighter tasks. Well, the very fact that I needed an easy day is something that is not true for everybody. Some people can just keep going. What about the people at Scammer Payback? I don't know. I'm not familiar with those people. I'm not saying those are the only two streamers I respect. Don't get me wrong. I respect a lot of streamers. There are a couple of easy examples there. How do you deal with bullying and people that make fun of you? Like, I know my stuff is good and people online like us, but some people in real life are hurtful. In real life, they're hurtful? I was going to say, in real life, bullies tend to just sort of dissolve. It's online that I think bullies tend to exist in higher numbers. So if it's someone you actually know, and maybe you're in touch with them, I'd probably try talking to them and just say, hey, this stuff rubs me the wrong way. But online, there's a totally different tack, which is I've told people that in the past, and sometimes they just don't improve at all. So at some point, it's like, well, I just need to moderate them. And what that typically means is some kind of ban or purging or something like that. Ryan was insane. Yeah, Ryan was insane. He got an interview where they called him YouTube superstar in the thumbnail. Pretty sure Kit will still call himself a regular guy. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other nice thing. Kit's pretty down to earth after all of that. Okay, so we got to change this. I deleted the number that I had this set to, but I think it was 206. Yeah, it is 206. Surprised I remember that. I do want to push a new version of this, but I think reviewing this now is probably a tall order. Yeah. So we could push the changes I just made, which wasn't very much. We probably need to increase the difficulty again at some point. Like colleagues, etc. So I can't tell them to go away, and family, which has a similar story. You just don't get the content creator thing. Okay, so I want to try to not make any assumptions here. Family can mean any number of things. Some people take it to just mean parents, but some people might mean like any immediate family or extended family. I was going to say, these categories are very different. If your parents are like content creation, I don't get that. It's very different from like your second cousin telling you, oh yeah, that's never going to succeed, versus, you know, your sibling telling you that. So I'm not totally sure there, but sort of in general, I guess when it comes to IRL people, I'd say like talk to them. And then barring any result from talking to them is like ignore what they think. At some point, you're just sort of fighting antiquated beliefs. And I think the same sort of thing happened with video games. When I was growing up, I would play a lot of video games, and back then a career in video games wasn't really a thing. So there was always the worry from people that I knew in real life, like, oh, he's just wasting his life, right? And there is certainly a way you could just be playing video games and wasting your life, I guess. I'm not trying to sound pejorative about this, but at least there's an understanding that you play for entertainment versus you play for game design knowledge versus you play because you're testing a game that you've already made. And to some extent, you should try to correct people's beliefs. And to other extent, it's like, yeah, let them believe what they want to believe and just do whatever you're doing. Okay, so fix texture margin on paper background. It didn't scale vertically in a nice way. All right, I am going to push a new change, but I'm not going to merge these PRs yet. So let's push the new change, and then I'll probably get lunch, and then I'll probably do music stuff the rest of the day, maybe. Hey, Vintage. It's going well. How was your stream? Still waiting for thicker skin. You know, part of it is it does come with age, I think. Realizing like, well, a bunch of things. One is like, I'm living my life. Do I want to keep living it according to someone else's feelings or thoughts? The other is the perspective of, it's like 10 years ago, I would have reacted differently to this. And now I react in a better way. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. Yeah, you can link the video, Flare. Yeah. I don't mind when people, actually, I pretty much don't mind when anyone shares a link as long as it's not like obvious spam or something malicious. And then if it's not from someone like brand new to the stream who's trying to self-promote. But yeah, people who've been here for a while, if they want to share like a project they've been working on or a video or something, that's totally fine. So this is done. This we're going to hold off on, and this we're going to go start. So let's push the new version. Am I on main? Yes, I am. Am I on the release tool? I am now. Things are coming along pretty well with Skeleseller. There is a lot of work to be done on challenge mode still, but we're getting there, which is nice. Wait, I don't have... Let me alias that. Oh, weird. It's just like Godot quit unexpectedly. Was that from here? What even happened? I didn't even have Godot open. Well, I had it open, but I wasn't looking at it. It just randomly quit. Edit normally. Is this gonna work? Yeah, sure thing. I don't know. All right, let's go to playtest 097. Yeah, I have quite a lot of commands. I should probably alias dark mode to dark reader. There we go. All right, so while this is running, let's go come up with the patch notes. So we'll go over to here and playtest news and edit this. All right, so it's gonna be 097. Let's get Unix time here. Okay, so major changes. What do we do here? Fixed a bug where the garbage slime would always automatically eat from the warehouse when at max hunger. Like even if you hadn't gotten the new trade-off perk. All right, so that's an important bug fix. What else do we do? Oh yeah, grant. The quick move menu is now granted by default in challenge mode. I've heard your feedback. Hang on 1 second. Okay, that was my wife. My wife is traveling right now, and she's in a different time zone, and she's going to sleep. So I just want to be able to say goodnight to her. Fixed a bug. Oh yeah, let's upload to Steam. This should make it easier to manage items. All right, what else do we do? Rebalance town perks. Oh yeah, nerf the pond. Nerfed the cost of fish eggs back to 25G from 20G. I think the pond was too powerful. And then just this is the last thing here, all of these things. Check it out right down. Yeah, well, it does sound like you need a vacation. And then rebalanced a bunch of town perks. See full notes below. Well, maybe I should write the notes here. Okay, so farming specialization starts with all perks maxed except I don't know what it's called. Crop growth speed. What is that called? Well water. Which can still get 2 more levels. All right, garbage enjoyer. Starts with all perks maxed except for increased appetite. Garbage enjoyer spec. Yeah, faster hunger. Increased appetite, yeah, except increased appetite, which can still get 2 more levels. And finally, the pirate specialization. I'll just copy paste the whole thing. Starts with all perks max except for key rarity, I think. Yeah. Except special keys. Just gonna get 1 more level. All right, farming. Cool. Who was it you raided yesterday? Maya? She had that super cool button to toggle light and dark mode. Yeah, that was Maya. I don't know what button you're talking about though, unfortunately. All right, let me go put this online before I forget. I almost linked this in chat, not that it would have worked for anyone. That's weird, it's having me sign in again. All right, so this is what, 097? Yeah. Set build live. And confirm. Okay, done. So the build is live. I just need to publish these patch notes, which is a little bit difficult because there are 9 of these things I need to go get the new values for. So this is shopping spree potency. Old is 50, 75, 100. And the new is 50, 85, 125. Summary. I wanted this to stand out more. I wanted the enchanter to feel more impactful. So we raised the speeds across the board. Well, not across the board, I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess technically we did. I'll just leave it at racing speeds. All right, so that's shopping spree potency. The other one is stocking frenzy potency. This is worker speed. Same as shopping spree potency. Give me a sec. For this, go back to playing the game. All right. We got to do this 7 more times. This is worker spell, stocking frenzy. Yep. This is well water. All right, let's get the old, new, and summary as a thing that we can just copy paste. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so it used to be 0%, 20%, 40% faster crop growth. The new one is 20, 40, 75, 125. Wait, what did I say? 20, 40, 75, 125. Summary. I wanted the farm to be able to go nuts. Farming specialization no longer starts with this maxed. We can consider calling that treat yourself potency. What? For worker speed? All right, max fish. This is just called max fish. Old was 3, 8, 20, 45. I just copy this. Oh, the shopping frenzy. Ah, yeah. And then 3, 8, 25. Challenge mode just doesn't benefit from having 4 or like as many levels of this perk. So we made the max level better than it would have been. But you shouldn't have like 25 fish at any point anyway. Yeah. I realized now. Thanks to Galaxy, but I didn't realize before that. Cloning. Old was 1, 2, 3. New is 1, 2, 3, 4. Added 1 more level of this for people who want an extra worker, which is probably not super important. So the next one up is shiny loot. Old was 5, 20, 30, 35. More value when selling loot. The new is 5, 20, 30, 40. There just wasn't much of a difference between the penultimate and level and the final one. Now it's 5% better at the max level. All right. Next up is Recycler Auto Eat. Yeah. What is this called? Seek Loot, I think. Seek Food. And it was infinite 15, 5, 0 seconds between automatically eating an item off the ground. And now it's infinite 10, 5, 0. Summary, having to wait 15 seconds for the garbage slime to eat an item at level 1 is a hard sell for challenge mode. All right, we got 2 more of these left to do. So town perk customer speed. This is just called customer speed. Old is 20, 45, 75. Speed boost, and now it is the same numbers but with 110 and then 150. More levels, faster customers. Well, it wasn't really a lot. I just rebalanced some of these things. I'm missing something else. Shouldn't there have been 9 of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, where's the 9th one? That's strange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, faster hunger? I missed this one? Yeah, I missed this one. All right, what's that called? Increased appetite? Didn't I write that down? I guess not. Faster hunger. Hunger bonus. Increased appetite. Yep, there it is. So old was what? 40, 80, 120. Hunger for the garbage slime. And the new is... Oh, no, that's not true. Oh, God. Ugh. In fact, it started at 50. So it's 50, 100, 150. And then 200. And now it's all of that and more goes to 300% and then 400%. More levels. And really invest in the garbage slime. As usual, play challenge mode. Let me know if it's fun. Oh, okay, there. We're finally done with that. So, major changes. Quick move menu is now granted by default. Should make it easier to manage items. Fix the bug where the garbage slime would always automatically eat, even if you hadn't gotten the new trade-off perk. Nerf the cost of fish eggs back to 25 gold. I think the pawn was too powerful. Rebalance a bunch of town perks. Okay, hopefully this renders correctly. Your message is too long. 730 characters too big. Can we trim this down? Maybe get rid of the what to focus on. Now we need to get rid of 630 characters. We can just delete the summaries. Yeah, I'll trim these down. Last 2 levels. All right, now what are we down to? We need 300 more characters gone. Farming. Starts 2 levels away from max. Increased appetite. Starts 2 levels away from max, and special keys starts 1 level away from max. Okay. Now we need 160 more characters. Just split it in 2. I don't want to. I don't have 2 news posts. We're so close. Nerf cost of fish eggs. 20, 25 gold. the pond was too powerful. Where auto eating from even without the new perk. All right, we're down to 59 characters that we need to get rid of. Ah, what a waste. I mean, I guess we can get rid of some periods here. Yeah. I'm gonna do this. 2007. 7 more characters. Oh, I don't know, even the warehouse. There. All right, we did it. We have a whopping 2 characters remaining. Oh no, by tagging the role, it actually took 14 characters. Oh no. Available immediately. There, done. Okay, we're finished. Post. Never look back. Welcoming the new people. Whew, okay. So we're done with that. Let's go fill out the journal. Skeleseller. Took it easy. Mostly just rebalanced some perks and play tested. And fixed small bugs. Okay. So it's been almost 4 hours. What I'm thinking for the afternoon is I've been working on a new music track, but I haven't actually started the digitizing of it. So it's all in my head right now. And I want to come up with the instruments and maybe develop it a little bit. Well, develop it. It's pretty much done in my head. So yeah, come up with the instrumentation. And yeah, so anyone who is interested in watching that, it'll probably, I'll set expectations correctly. One is, it's not like this is some mind-blowing new music track you're gonna hear for the first time. It sounds pretty good. It's okay. It's about maybe a minute long. And me coming up with what instruments to use and everything is going to be a very frustrating process. And then you're going to hear the same like notes played over and over and over. So if that sounds like it's up your alley, by all means stick around for the afternoon stream. But I'm going to go take a break for lunch, and I'll try to be back by about, yeah, like 1:15 or something like that. And we'll see what we can get done. Honestly, just making any progress on this, I'd feel pretty good. But it's been a good day so far. So thank you all for watching. If you have not tried Skeleseller, this weekend's a great time to try it. The demo's been online for a while now. It's about 2 hours of gameplay. If you have played the demo and you want to play test the game, so challenge mode, check out that document. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Like I said, I'll aim to be back in about an hour and we'll do some music stuff. Take care.